some kind of a traditional hall. They say when you go over somebody, the president, you went there, she put over there, they put the wrong hall for him. You cannot serve true master. That the people of the effort of the church and you be subject to true.
Hey, welcome, guys. Are we back? Are we on live? Can you guys hear me? Well, it's good to be back on the closing argument, man. Look, guys, we've been away for some time, but look, we're just happy. We thank God we are back on the closing argument, and this we're about to make this a wonderful show, a wonderful time. Liberia is all we have. We got to make sure we are all part of this process, and the country is ready for the runoff elections. Everywhere you go, they're talking about elections and endorsement is taking place. People making the case for the re-election, either re-election of President Weah or election of boycott. But I'm telling you, the country is moving, and we are ready to be part of this process. And we look forward to making sure that we are all involved and we are on top of things. You've been hearing the news and lots happen in the news, and we're happy to be back on. I want to say thanks to our loyal followers who've come on the show every day to watch us and get a part of what's happening in Liberia. We are happy to be back on the air. We're happy to be back on the airwaves. Herman Jala. Herman Jala, man, what happened? I want to see you, my man. What happened? Man, tomorrow you gotta make sure you call me first in the morning, brother. Let's meet.
Yes. Thank you, Tomalin. Okay, no problem. How are you?
Yeah, call me, brother. Call me. I want for us to meet. That interface, you're doing a great job, man. Let us meet. You got my local number? Send me inbox me your local number, and then I will. My Pekin will give you my number so we can even meet tomorrow.
Okay.
Let's get together. But guys, we're happy. We want to say thanks to the management of True FM on the leadership of Oni Roberts and Representative-elect Musa Hassan Bility. We also want to say thanks to Hot FM on Representative-elect Bernard Blue Benson. He out just together a few minutes ago, and I want to say thanks to his staff for getting us back. We are all back on this show. I say thanks to all those who got us back, and we are on this show. We're going to stay on until this runoff election is over. We have 15 days to go, and the battle for the soul of Liberia is on. President Weah be re-elected, or Joe Burger be elected. We're going to find out in the next few days, but I can tell you, say what you want to say, but I think so far, the CDC is making the case. They are most of the endorsements are coming in. They seem to be in their favor. They are making a case, and they are ready to go to this battle. Now, before we get started, let me say this. people are talking things, but 19 persons ran for election in this country on October 10. 19 persons. President Weah accumulated 804,000 plus votes. He accumulated on October 10. He won the popular vote. Okay, Boyka came second. So when people are saying that, oh, okay, it's about Liberia. Yeah, so the 800,000 people have voted for Weah too, they're not Liberians or what? You tell me. Right now, take your side. Everyone has a side to take. Take your side as a binary choice. If you support President Weah, you take a side. So Boyka take your side. It's not about sitting on the fence, not about playing neutrality. It's about taking a side because at the end of the day, Liberians spoke in clear tone, through their votes. They said on October 10, President George Manneh Weah and Joe Boyka, the two people they want to see one of them become president. So the other candidates said, well, we're not interested in you. So it's now become the battle for the soul of Liberia. It's not about you trying to denigrate someone else. And I want to say, if you take your side, support your side, but do not have a problem with people taking a side. People making endorsements. Don't insult the person. Don't attack the person. It's the right. You took your side. Some people endorse Boyka. People never bother them. So a person you endorse, you shouldn't bother them. Focus on your side you have taken and defend that side. But the side attacking people for taking a side, I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right. And we shouldn't allow it to happen. And we are yet to and I'm sorry, guys. We're in Liberia, so we're trying to manage this thing. But right now, as I said, it's a battle for the soul of Liberia. And welcome all of you guys. Let me go down the list. I want to say welcome Kelly Cooper, Octavius S. Weah from District Number 15, Monserrato County. Kelly Cooper, yeah, I'm still in Liberia. Kelly Cooper. My big brother Edwin Croy in Delaware. Monrovia College, Ambassador B.B. Jones, Emmett Hammond, Ambassador Phil Deganty Jones, Garmin Gifler from Atlanta, Georgia, Sayer V. Dula, Friday Young, Yomantro Kranga. Welcome all of you guys to the closing argument. Happy to see you guys. I'm glad to be back. And we are on now until after the runoff elections. So rest assured, we were all in this together. Sorry for the thank you, DJ Ratin Elijah Zeze. Thank you. Yes, we are on this. Is now the battle for the soul of Liberia. In 15 days, President George Manneh Weah will either be re-elected or Joseph Yuma Boyka. As we can see the local things, President Weah is in high gear. The CDCs, they are moving. They are ready. They are all shopping. They are preparing to in fact, they already started campaigning. Let me just clarify something about re-elected Senator Sir Joseph. There's a rumor about Senator Sir Joseph that he was buying voting card. That's not true. Senator Sir Joseph is not buying nobody voting card. He's not buying nobody voting card at all. That's not true. That thing is a lie. Don't believe it. Senator Joseph is he's presently in the district running campaign for the CDC. And one thing, Senator Sir Hadi Joseph, he broke record. For the first time in Liberian political history, he received the highest votes. I repeat, Senator Hadi Sir Joseph received the highest votes by any candidate in the senatorial candidate in the race. He received more than 300,000 votes in Montserrado County. Not even President Weah, not even Senator Darius Dillon. Sir Joseph broke the record. He broke the ceiling. He received the highest vote by any elected official in Liberia, history of Liberia. Senator Sir Joseph received the highest vote. So you better respect that man. He received the highest vote. And people from all sides of the political divide voted for Sir Joseph. UP people voted for Sir Joseph. Liberal Party people, ANC people, everyone voted for Sir Joseph. So he received the highest vote by any person running for elected position in our country. Sir Joseph, he received the highest vote. So we should show him respect. The man is just popular. Montserrado, people just love him. Everywhere he went, people come to hail him. They come and they hail him. They praise him. They give him kudos. So we respect him and know that he is. And you know that he's on top of his game. And right now, I learned he is now in charge of the CDC Montserrado campaign team. So Joseph is on the move. So he is on the move, and I respect him though. The man is popular. I mean you can't help it. He's just a popular person, a down to earth guy. He provided buses now. So, University of Liberia students are even benefiting from it. The rate is the rate is dropped. Has dropped a lot. People can afford buses to go to Ganta, from Morva to Ganta, to Banga, to Bassa, at a very cheap rate. And his university is almost completed. I just give him credit. So he playing his part. So let us, I just respect him. But the issue about him buying people voting cards is not true. That's completely false. I investigated it and I found out that's lie. It's not true, not at all. So please don't give it no credence. He's not buying anyone voting card at all. Just want to let you guys know. Okay? But guys, the country is on edge. Everybody waiting for the elections for November 14th, the runoff elections. Right now, all we're hearing in the last few months, few days, people are negotiating, they are lobbying. And look, I will say this. Liberian politics, don't kill yourself for no politician. Because the people from, even the very people they talk about rescue team, they are the same people here also running behind the people, or the CDC people also to negotiate with them. Okay, so don't let people can be putting you guys here together. Okay, some of them already say, they're giving up, that they don't know what happened. So they are in talks with the people too. So don't come and die for any politician or cost you or break relationship that you have cherished over the years for any politician, because at the end of the day, you'll be left in the cold. Right now, I repeat, it is about the battle for the soul of Liberia. Who will be the next president or re-elected president of Liberia? President Weah is on top of his game. I don't know, Joe Baka, I heard he's in Ghana. And I don't know what are you going there for? I heard one of the officials saying he consultative meeting. Well, that's why they say we don't know, but the campaign is taking place. We are campaigning all over the country. So right now we're just waiting for this election to take place. We are in Liberia and just getting ready for this election of the runoff. And today, as you all know, everywhere you went today in Liberia, I'm talking about Henry Costa. His endorsement of President Weah. Yes, Costa. Let us be fair. Costa basically resurrected the Unity Party and Vice President Boyka. After the 2017 elections, the party was, I thought we were concerned that Boyka was done with politics, but Costa decided to resurrect that party and the VP. and he made a case for them for 3 years, and until he felt betrayed by them. And it's his right to decide who he want to support. And he tried to support them. It's his right. Don't insult the guy. Don't attack him. Some of the very people that you say you support him too, do you know what they are doing here too? Some of them come on the public and act as they are fair, they are some saints. Okay? And I can say this: the senators that you're talking about, some of them have been making noise, calling themselves. Okay? They are not, don't let them fool you. All of them, none of them until you say they're perfect, or they're some saint, or they're there for the people. It's a lie. We know the story. Okay, so on the very people you're supporting today, you call them on the rescue team. I'll tell you the truth. They're the ones who are already negotiating. Let them fool you. So this election, as I say, take your side and support your side. Make your case for your side. Decide who you want to make, who you want to support. But do not insult your colleague. Discuss the issues now. President George Manawia, Ambassador Joseph Nyenwolo, either one of them, go and make a case for them. But you shouldn't insult somebody for taking a side. No, I don't think it's fair. So what make you think, when people say, oh, it's about Liberia, it's about Liberia. Oh, so the 804 the 804,000 plus people that voted George Weah. George Weah came out with 804,000 more votes, the highest popular votes. And then you're trying to say the people that voted for him, you're not Liberian. You say, oh, it's about Liberia. Give me a break. Take your side and decide who you want to support. Don't attack somebody for taking a side. That's not fair. You know? And it's not fair at all. Take your side. Decide who you want. So right now, everybody taking a side, everybody and making endorsement as you are aware. How to call it, the Liberian People's Party of Councilor Tewon Gonglo. They voted to endorse the Unity Party of Joseph Boyka. His sister, former Nima County Superintendent Edith Gonglo Ware, endorsed President George Manawia and the CDC for re-election. As I speak, Madam Edith Gonglo Ware is in Nima now. She's making a case for George Weah re-election. And the former President Pro Tem of the Liberian Senate and Grand Battle Senator-elect Milton Basangar Finlay, he also endorsed President George Manawia for re-election. So that's what's happening. Good to see you, my brother, Dr. Henry Peabody. This great missionary of our time. My boy is all fine.
George.
All sharp.
You know, I just
returned. Looking heavy.
I just returned from a funeral for one of an icon from New Jersey, Ben Sanvee. So I could have just left the hall and had to come back to join the all-important show. This all-important show. So, yes. Can you hear me, Tomalin? Tomalin, can you hear me? It's good to be back, folks. Tomalin seems to be frozen. It's good to be back on the closing argument. We are back. We are back to stay. I want to thank the folks at Truth FM and the folks at Hot FM. Tomalin will be coming on shortly. He kind of frozen, you know, the internet situation. Tomalin is still in Liberia. And so we're looking forward to have a great show, have a great discussion here tonight, folks. So welcome. There have been a lot of surprises since the last election on October 10th. There have been a lot of surprises, a lot of things happening, you know. But Tomalin is going to be back. Tomalin, you back now? Tomalin? Well, guys, we are on. We're looking forward. All the panelists going to be joining us today. uh, Keff Hassan, Chairman Ben Sanvee, everybody else going to be joining us. I believe too many have been recognizing some of our guests here tonight. So I want to thank the folks at Truth FM for bringing us live. Keff Hassan will be joining us, all the other folks. So we are on live, ladies and gentlemen, on the closing acumen is back. All right. You want to go? Okay, I'll take you. All right. Yeah, so we back, ladies and gentlemen. So the happenings in Liberia. Let's talk about a lot of things. We had some visit with Mr. Cummings. We have folks visiting Mr. Cummings. We have the former VP. I think too many have talked about that. We have the President George Minor Weah. He visited as well. And they had some fruitful discussion. And Mr. Cummings did issue a statement and all of that. So we're seeing a lot of stuff. We're seeing some photos. We're seeing the optics. And it have been trending. Thousands and thousands of folks have been talking about it, and talking stuff. But this election is about folks. It's about taking side. Where your interest is, that way you would go. So folks have to do it. Henry, good to see you, Henry.
Yeah. What's up, Peabody?
I am well, Henry. Good to see you. A lot been trending. A lot's been going on. Tomalin probably gonna come back on. I guess the internet issue have been a problem. Have been a problem for him coming back on. But we all know a lot been going on, and it's good to be back on live with the closing acumen. It's good to be back. You guys have done a great job. So, Henry, what's been going on? Let's talk about. Firstly, let's start with. I don't know what Tomalin was, but let's talk about the visit of VS former Vice President Joe Barker visiting Mr. Cummings. Let's start with that. What was happening? What was going on?
Yeah, let me say thank you again. Thank you for coming and to push to that. Politics is not about creating enemyship, because what happens is that election is an event, so you don't draw away from your friend. So former VSB going to Cummings, maybe something in the pipe, and they want to bring it to light. So maybe we can see it from that angle also, because on the other hand, Cummings still a strong person in the political game.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do is that draw closer to him for the better. So yeah. I think
that's the fact, for the better. And that's why I keep telling people Tomalin is back on. I don't want to run ahead to know what Tomalin have been discussing. I don't want to run ahead of his conversation. But Tomalin, you back. Tomalin, I don't want to go run ahead of your conversation, but tell us what's going on. Tomalin, you've been in Liberia for the longest. I just got back next week, and they are planning to head back very soon. I'll be coming back to Liberia very soon. I won't give a date, but I know I'll be there for the second round. So Tomalin, can you hear us? Chief Tomalin, can you hear that? I know the internet is bad. Yeah, but Henry, like you said, you can hear us, Tomalin? Yep, the internet.
that it's bad from his end.
Yeah, it's bad from his end though. So when you get your internet together, bro. But like you said, Henry, it's been a lot going on. Politics is not about enemies. We can visit each other, and talk about, our interests. But most people in the CPP saying that look, this is how we started. We started like a complete bad blood. We started went on fine for some time, and then later on it became bad. It was court here, court this, court that, and today we see coming back together. So I don't know whether the faces that we sing or the smile and all of that, sometimes. But I think it's about politics. It's about your interest, where your interest is and stuff like that. But I mean, we are very, very, very excited to be back. I know folks have been calling, folks have been texting me. I was somewhere yesterday and everybody came on me. And they're like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Everybody, over 30 people came over to me. What's going on? The closing acumen with Mr. Closing Acumen and stuff like that. So we need to get this started. We need to get this rolling. Henry, I didn't see you when I was in Liberia. Hey, what's up, brother? Lofa, good to see you. You
Thank you.
know, Henry, I didn't see you when I saw you once, but hopefully I will be back, God's willing, for round two and to cover and to serve the election. So, but it's been an interesting. It's been the news and news and news and news. A lot of great news been happening. So, I just want us to take some time and talk about it. Lofa, thank you for joining us today. I know it's been crazy, but thank you for joining. We were off for a while. The internet was off for a while, and we just had this going on. But look, let's talk about it before Tomalin comes on. I mean, I don't know where he started, but we when he come back, maybe he'll pick up from there. He was leading the show, but the internet is bad in Liberia. But look, let's talk about. I just talked to Henry in the studio there at Truth FM, and we just talked about the historic visit of PP Barker. I wanted to start with that first. Two best friend, and then Mr. Barker went to visit, the uptake and whatever. So let's talk about that, Lufa. Let's talk about that.
You know, let me first of all start off with the attire tonight, man. What size is your neck? Normally I wear 32, 33, and I'm saying now that bow tie. Like, I feel like I need to visit you and borrow it for at least one show, just one show. Let me just use it for one show. That
You
bow
know,
tie is just it's just great though. I mean, I like it. I like
thank
the
you, buddy.
entire attire tonight.
Thank you, buddy. I just came from a funeral. Very prominent guy in New Jersey that passed, and I went
Oh,
to his funeral. So I didn't make the repast because the show was coming on, and I was like, I gotta go. People are like the people, are like, what's up, what's up, what's up? I said, well, the show is on tonight, so you're locked on. So they're celebrating, but I'm like, I gotta go get on the show, so I have to come back real
nah,
quick. You know,
my condolences to you, the family, and
yeah,
everybody else. But
yeah.
yeah, I thought to highlight that, and I'm looking at the bow tie like.
Thank you, brother.
Oh, that probably look kind of good on me, like put it on and move on with it. I probably may not be going to a funeral with it, but I'll be going to the bar or something.
But I weigh up to 60 and a half, 31, 30, 30 something, man, or something like that.
But that's what it is. Henry, how you doing, boss? Good to see. You're muted. You still muted. You still.
Yes, I'm doing okay, and you?
Hey, I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
Yeah,
Back home we say, uh, "Call money oh, call
yeah,
money
sure.
oh,
Yep.
yeah, call money oh,
Got his money on.
yeah." But
Happy to see you.
that I'm doing great. I'm grateful to be alive. But that's what it is. Dr. Peabody, to what what you actually set as a stepping stone for tonight's conversation is something that a lot of people, I'm pretty sure, throughout the past few weeks have been discussing. Right, we've been talking about the vice president uh, um, visit to Mr. Alexander Cummings. Look, I have said this time without number, and I will continue to remind Liberians about the reality of this. Right, the genuine ideas or nature of any Liberian desire to transform Liberia would never be ignored by our divine creator. You are of the biblical background and theology and other things. I'm not going to get into the religious aspect of it, but there's a reason why when one is persecuted, God intervened in so many ways. And what I noticed and what I observed from that entire process was God just exposing to Liberians the reality. Here is somebody who came to you with clean hands, open heart, devoted minds, and say, "Let me serve you. Let me be a volunteer." And he was prosecuted
Mhm.
for his voluntary services. So now here we are. We are saying the same group of people. But I admire the fact that the former vice president was willing to go for the visit and sit there. But what I am more concerned about is the level of honesty in the visit, though, or with the visit.
Mhm.
How sincere is he
Yeah.
in this visit? What is it that he's willing to work on? My expectation would have been, my expectation was hopefully a day after, I expected to see Honorable Boykai and Mr. Alexander Cummings probably at his home, at
Yeah.
the former vice president's home,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Either having lunch or
Mhm.
breakfast or dinner, and hopefully having a press conference and telling the people of Liberia, look, this is about Liberia. It's not about me. It's not about Cummings. It's not about anybody else. But again, we are saying to you guys, look, whatever may have happened, we are trying to mend fences. We are trying to bring together the people who believe in our leadership, even though it may not have happened during the CPP terms, but we still believe that Cummings is my brother, my little brother. I still remain the elder brother. I'm not going to apologize to Cummings, but I'm going to apologize to Liberians. You can coin the phrase that way. To some extent, you have apologized. All
Right.
right, and Liberians will consider that. Look, the ability to be humble, commit yourself to something. I didn't see it. And here we are today. It's been a couple of days since that incident took place. Here we are now. Something else came up, and then now it just overshadowed the entire process. The visit of the former vice president to Mr. Alexander Cummings have literally been overshadowed by the what we would consider the alleged or the shadow endorsement of Henry Costa to the CDC. All of that have been overshadowed. I think the miss on server opportunities. I think that was
Yeah.
bad. That was bad.
Yeah.
But that's just my view.
Tony is back, so I would like Tony to pick up from where he was. So Tony, Tony, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm hearing you guys. I hear you
Very
guys. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Look,
Yeah.
I would say this though. People should stop having issues about who endorsing who because people haven't had the choice. You're right.
Yeah.
Like Julius Lalufa said, a few 3 years ago, Costa was making the case of former Vice President Boycott. The UP was, and to be honest with you, after the 2017 elections, the party was dead. But we heard that Boycott wasn't running anymore. I think Bronsky called Cummings said, "Let's go and let's form a collaborating of stuff so we can run against President. We are in 2023, and then they brought in a Boycott and so forth. And then the next thing is they started to accuse this man for something that, as I always said when I was on Spoon, I said it was a bogus case. He didn't figure out the document. They were just lying on this man and started to say, "Oh, let's do black voting. Let's do this one." Oh, Cummings with when you go to a convention, coming with bribe the people, he'll win the convention, and all kinds of stuff. And today now, then at the end of the day, Costa was the man making the case for them. Costa was raising money. He was doing everything for Boycott. I mean, I'm aware because I knew exactly what he did. Costa was making a case for them. He was, this boy was, in fact, when he comes to America, Costa would take his time from his school, put him
Yeah.
in his car, taking it around. I mean, I know very well. Costa was raising enough money for Boycott. It's not something that we're not aware. People out of you know. We are aware of it. Our friend Stanton was fundraising them, was funding them. We know that. We're not. So what can they say? So they were now they want to insult this guy because he decided to take a side. Give me a break, man. Other people taking a side in this election. What's the problem? You taking a side when you're insulting, when you're attacking the guy, what you insulting him for? You
Yeah.
know, it's not fair.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, I'm clear. If anybody insult me on this blue app for the next few days, I will not spare you. I will come after you. You can be my friend, my brother, my sister. I'll respond in kind too, because no one have monopoly or insulting people. No. Take your side. I don't go on your post. I don't attack you. Take your side and move on. All people take their side, respect them, and you promote your candidate. Don't insult people. Come on, man. What's that?
Yeah. You know, too many
calling all name, this name, that name. When he was supporting your candidate, oh yeah, he wasn't a name. You calling him now? Give me a break. Give me a break.
You are so on point, because what happened is today somebody have written something and I said, well, politics is about interest. You know, anybody can go and then change his direction later on and say, you know what, I was here before, but I think this is the right thing. And I got a lot of everybody was coming on me. But the fact is, when Costa was out there supporting them, when he was making those sacrifices, transporting the VP from one place to another place, even using his being presented himself as a shelf, going there, ensuring that the kind of meal the VP was going to eat, the kind of meal that he needed for breakfast, Costa were all on top of it, transporting him from place to place. But today, they are all now calling him, oh, he's ungrateful, or he killed his political career only because he took a side. But if he doesn't take a side, it means that his political career will be good, or he has supported them, then it means that was the best side to take. You know how people come at me today, or you need to take a side. Or if you don't take a side, we know what side you're going on. You're not the kind of person, you're not this and that. But the fact here is, I don't have to support you. I don't have to agree with you. I can take my side. I can come out and say what I want to say. But Costa was with them from the beginning. I always use the word resuscitated, you know, because Costa brought them back, but the Unity Party back. He was there. Now he decided to part way. Look, the other day I was trying to get a promotion at my job in another department, and I went there and they asked me a question. I said, why you want to leave your current job? I said, because you know what? There may be better opportunities. You know, I've been there 10 years. My job is great, but I want to move to another area, you know, where I can get better opportunities and stuff like that. So the man decided to move. And we're not taking it, but people want to go they want to go personal on him. They saying this, but only because he decided to take a picture photo with the president. So they going this way, but they forget what they did. Lofa said, when you drag Mr. Cummings, yeah, back and forth. Well, he fingered the document. I still remember Senator Yumdi Kanga. Mr. Cummings need to give account of the document. He need to apologize. He need to present the framework document. He has the original document. I'm telling you, press conferences, people going every week. They drag this man to court. Don't you know the time was going to come where you would have gone to him and said, and this man did not even leave CPP. He stayed in the CPP. You decided to break away. Because you had a foot, you're entitled, and you're going about talking about saying things like, oh, we want to have things like black voting and blah, blah, blah. He was going to bribe. In fact, you withdrew from that. Now the time comes. Now you're blaming Costa. You know, Tony used to say before this whole thing, Tony said, in 100 or so many days, a lot of things will happen. And
oh yeah, it happening,
your stuff is coming together now to believe.
Yeah, and Biden and Lofa. Let me tell you something.
Your prophecy.
Going forward, we're gonna have to name you. What was it? Prophet Tomalin.
Yeah.
Well, Lofa and Peabody. If people think that, I mean, honestly though, if people think that Costa is just trust me, the boy guy is group. The boy guy is base. The guy is group behind, and the boy is gonna go up on the campaign trail. He will be on the campaign trail. He's gonna make his case. And honestly, don't let them fool you, man. If he are in George Burger today, they will be hailing him. So
No, but
Lofa, before you come in, Lofa.
Yeah, where?
On October 10th, let understand this. On October 10th, there were 20 candidates. 19 of them said, look, Joe, we haven't done a good job. Let's get rid of him. So what they did, they went to the polls. The Liberian people, they said in that it came up in numbers. I was here, I witnessed the election. Over 804,000 plus Liberians voted for George Weah to be president. In fact, then 790 some thousand voted for Boycott. So they said, oh, the 1.9 million person like two people they feel that again should be president. So what they did, they put George Weah had the highest vote. So now, who are we to tell you, oh, the people not do their job? You've been preaching, your platform, making the case of Liberian people say, look, I'm neutral. They had the narratives. You make a right decision. The person Lofa Judah, stay in America, won't hear nothing. He didn't say, won't believe it.
Exactly.
Move on there. Went to the post, they made a choice. Then you might come and say now, oh, the people that voted and said, you will tell them and say, oh, no, it's never the people made a choice. So right now, you are there now to say the next 14 days, they go to the post, then they make it that it's a binary choice. Take a side and the people move on. But you can't condemn somebody, attack Lofa, attack the person for their views. I think it's wrong, and you should not allow it to happen, because if you think you have monopoly or attacking and insulting, trust me, all the guys, they have the platform. They will respond in kind. They won't joke. Right. After all the kakaliko, they will face the problem. Right now, it's about Liberia, everybody moving forward, and the battle of the soul of Liberia is on.
Yeah. You know, Tomalin, you made a salient point about the attacks on people's decision and individual views, right? I don't get bothered by some of those things. Like I said before, very often Liberians, we tend to be more reactive than being proactive. You would notice that those who celebrated Henry Costa when the entire CPP saga was going on, today they are the one attempting to prosecute Henry Costa. But you cannot prosecute a man who ran your entire institution, and it came across to be much more beneficial to you, and it threw light on the entire process. Not a single person from the Unity Party had their hands up or hand up to say, I am the one who is actually masterminding the process here. Everyone in the diaspora and back home knew it was Henry Costa. Okay? When we, Lofa Julius, and I'm not saying this in shadow, I'm saying this up front with my face in the camera. When some of us said this whole process with Henry Costa and everything, we spoke against it. The folks from the Unity Party and came and called us names. How in the world can you have the mind, the audacity to today sit and speak against Henry Costa, whom you supported because he was in your camp? What that tells me is you are literally just being deceitful. And that is the last thing that we want for a group of people who want to govern our country. At least if you're willing to accept you're wrong and take account of it and take responsibility for your faults. But they're not willing to do that. By you calling me Lofa Julius unpatriotic because I claim neutrality or I decide to remain neutral, then you call it Tomalin George names. Dr. Peabody should declare whoever told you the fact that these individuals are on here. Dr. Peabody just told you he had to leave a very important occasion, okay, to come on here and voice his position, whether he agree or disagree. That tells you that he's a part of the process. But when one speak of independence in Liberia, our idea is once you're independent, you should not contribute to any discussion. You should keep your mouth shut. And that is not the truth. I can be independent in my decision making. I can be independent in the thought process, yet and still be vocal on other aspects of it. I am independent. Okay, I'm not a part of a political party. I am not a part of any political institution that probably I believe I need to submit some level of loyalty to. But our people are yet to understand these things. And until we, okay, can stand up to these people and make them to understand that you serve the time for the crime, like it is often said here, if you're caught driving drunk, you go to jail for driving drunk. You serve the time for the crime. And Liberians are yet to understand these things. They want to do bad things to other people and then say, for the sake of God, let's just forgive and move on. Heck no. If you did wrong to this man, The reason why Henry Costa is actually reacting the way he is today, and I hold this man not responsible for his action. You did this man dirty. This man worked for you. How many of us, let's be honest about this, right? Why it is true that I am not Henry Costa's biggest fan. How many of us here want to work and don't get paid for our work, or experience some level of gratitude for our dedication? This man, you know what it means to get up at 6 a.m. in the morning to sit on some podcast? You know what it means? And you're not sitting there for 1 hour, sometimes 2 hours. And then you have to listen to people who will call and insult you on that podcast. Costa went through all of that. He masterminded the entire process, everything that needed to be done for Honorable Boykai to come and say, okay, you know what? You intended to kill me. That accusation in itself, man, come on. Now, I don't think any one of us here or in Liberia who may not be in the limelight today will want to accept such accusation. Let the man enjoy his decision, but you all can go back in your closets and think about it. Did you make the right decision? Did you support the right action? And then we can all come back to see how best we can make Liberia a better place. Until then, I have no reason to go against Henry Costa, but based on what I saw in the entire process, I will say to you, I will hold him accountable to some extent, and Honorable Boycott should do the needful thing upon his return. I don't know whether he's back from the sick, because I heard, from Ghana. I heard he's in Ghana. There's a pastor in Ghana who is making prophecy. I think Tomalin, George, you need to get in and prophesy to Honorable Boycott and say who's going to win it.
Is this somebody that giving prophecy?
Yeah,
right?
There's a video. If you guys have some time, I'll play the video of a guy who is prophesying.
Yeah, play it.
What was happening?
Today I had lunch with Ronnie here, so we're talking now. I said, well, the people already asking Ronnie, said, Ronnie, you already know who will win the presidency. Ronnie said, well, how do I know who will win the presidency? How do I know? I mean, the people can think weird in this way, right? I said, Ronnie, you know who will win the presidency, the election? How Ronnie know? Ronnie said that he did say a month ago, he said the election will be the same thing, the same result. He said it will be UP and CDC again. And don't count President Weah out. President Weah will be again maybe having a lead. Now, what happened? Okay, is the guy, and honestly, I would say this though, since the election, President Weah, I'll honestly be from you, he has campaigned more than ever before. At the past election, you campaigned. Right now, the man is, and you want to talk about negotiation? We are negotiating. The man is making inroads in a negotiation. People, I mean, Bozinga Finlay, Edith Ware Gonglo. I'm hearing the guy from Bonkande, Johnny Quay. People are hearing are coming on board and more coming. Right now, and look, Lofa and Peabody, something we can't say yet. I can tell you in private, some of the people that I see on rescue team, the thing they're doing, they kind of move the making. Yeah, don't take it. Look, what I say, people they should come on last time. They come on and they kind of change about this one. Some of them they be one who are trying to negotiate behind the scene. Don't let them fool you. Some of them you look with the loudest mouth, the one that look, something we have seen, something we have read. You say, oh my God, I can't believe this. What's happening? So don't let them fool you. They are the ones who are trying to make all kind of deeds and so forth. I mean, so I don't take them serious. I know them, and they continue. Look, if the time comes, we call them out for their hypocrisy and their deception. Don't let them fool you. Let them fool you. They play their games a lot. They come on the Blue app and pretend as though they say, yeah, it's about Liberia. Give me a break. Not Liberia. You care about Liberia.
Peabody, I hate to interrupt you, but let me
Jackson Jr. Welcome, brother Jackson.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much, comrades and friends. I'm very happy to be here. And let me say good afternoon absolutely to Liberians and friends of Liberia following the broadcast. I'm humble. Thank you very kindly for hosting me.
Thank you.
It's always
welcome, Honorable Jackson.
I've seen politics now. Look, gentlemen, you guys all know politics now, but they want to say this deceptive. Look, I say Jackson Peabody. Look, some of the things that are happening, you will wonder. Some people that come and tell you, say, rescue one, rescue this, rescue that. Tell me about it. Don't let them fool you. They already playing the willing and dealing. Do all kind of give. They trying to, and mind you, on October, November 14, when election war, they'll be the first one to say, "Look, gentlemen, they move the way. Don't let them fool you."
Let
They
me
play
share
the games.
something. Let me share something with you that a reliable source provided to me, and let this not be disclaimer. Let this not be used against the network as it is being stated by an individual, Ilofa Julius. Let my name be used on this and not the network or the platform at this point. I had a friend of mine who is an inside, source for information very often, reach out to me and said to me, Lofa, why you guys always into this thing, the politics thing? All of you guys are a bunch of hypocrites. Like, dude started going off on me. I'm like, hold on. Where are you going with this thing here? Look, this guy, CP, the CDCN, is getting information that there is an individual who claimed to be the propagandist of the Unity Party who is reaching out to members of the CDC, Nathaniel McGill, and still negotiating the possibility of coming back. Okay, so I'm like, hold on, I need names. And he's like, Lofa, you guys are fake. Like this guy going off on me. So I'm like, okay. He hung up. A few minutes later, he called back. You guys need to understand that some of you are not in Liberia, but some of us are here. So I said, who is it? And he told me, Eugene Fangon. I'm not hiding his name. I'm stating his name. I was like, so why are you hurting yourself listening to this individual when you understand that this individual is still in the background negotiating the possibility of going back home? So why are you blaming me who simply come out here and give you options? Well, I think all of your politicians, you're the same. But this man is in the background working.
Mm-hmm.
You're the one making the decision to vote. Why are you blaming me? I have given you the opportunity to make rational decisions. I gave you 3 options, not 1, but 3. You ignore all of them. And here you are, you're now left you're trapped. And now you want to blame me for the fact that Fangon is begging to go back home? Begging, and people don't see him as, that person they can confide in? I was like, don't blame me for that. You can blame those who are making the decision. The loud mouth you hear on here. Let me tell you, Peabody, we all know why they are louder than the loudspeakers that are held at the churches in Liberia and other places. It's because they have the individual selfish interests. It's not about Liberia. We all know these things, and we have seen these things. For fun, going to be running around here, and the worst part about it, the Unity Party, in their rational decision, took a Fangon to put him against a Henry Costa to serve as propagandist. Who's going to win this fight? You be the judges. I'll stop at that point.
But Robert Gagwa, man, I miss you, man. Welcome, brother. Welcome. Good to see you. And what Julia Lufa just said, look, and I'm giving this warning. The people names you're calling, it is true. We got it on record.
Okay.
We already playing.
Okay.
What you said is true. It's true. So when I hear some of our friends talking like they're talking, even the issue where he said, "Oh, I live in Spoon," that was all.
Yes.
That was just don't. And somebody said, "Don't give it credence," just to create some attention. And the same person now will go and be calling. Look, he already trying to call in the PRCC people to talk to them, so that people will take them serious around here. But I just challenge them when they continue to act fresh. We expose them. Let it continue. We're giving them. We come to that point. Let it continue to play games and think they will get away and get out. But guys, look, let us talk, man. Let us talk, guys. Let's talk about this election. Right now, I can tell you the issue right now. One thing I can say, if I'm lying, you guys can call me out. This runoff will be always a low turnout. People truck people to vote for them, and they are unable to pay that money to carry people to vote for them. Some people have already lost their voting ID cards. Some people are already giving it up. They didn't care again. They're done. So there'll be low turnout. I can expect it. And the counties that the other party didn't win, They are making inroads in those counties. I know the CDC is contesting Magibi heavily. They are in Bapolu, they are in Magibi, they are going to Cape Mount, and they right now like in Lofa and Nima, yeah, they're not going to really perhaps win over, but they're going to cut into their votes because they are sending that people out there. They are either going to see Nima tonight. She's there. I talked to her. She's there already. She and her group, they are there, and it will be a tough. Everybody thinks, I will say this, everybody think that CDC will just give up this election and say, oh yeah, we're done. You're making a mistake. These guys are prepared, they are on fire, they are moving, they are working, and they are campaigning. They are negotiating, and they are getting people on board. Not just only the principals, their members, their partisans are moving along. So this election is not about what you see on Facebook, people writing that stuff, they're writing on Facebook and just let it go. No, the people are working hard. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, they are working hard. So the election in 14 days, people will cry again. But I'll say again, we'll deal with Liberian people, you know. But Robert and Isaac Jackson, you guys can chime in.
Sir Arthur Jackson. Let's start with Sir Arthur Jackson. He wrote a
but the thing I wanted to basically focus on is the very endorsement that we are watching. And I wanted to basically start off with my friend Henry Costa, because he's being demonized by some of the people on Facebook, especially those desiccated Unity Party boys. I mean, when I say desiccated basically confirms that they are lacking intellectual vitality and vibrancy. They dry out. So they got nothing to offer now, and they're going after Henry Costa. You know, you can say all that you want to say about Henry Costa. What I see a new Liberia that is emerging on the horizon that places reconciliation above hate. Some of the Unity Party people are hate-filled. So they will not go to President Weah. But if you are a genuine politician, what matters is the bigger picture. You will be able to reconcile. You will submerge yourself in narrow agenda to a bigger picture. And what Mr. Costa is demonstrating is that he's a decent man. He can reconcile and move Liberia to that bigger picture that we want to see. You know, I said to one CDC person in private, and I will say this in public now. I say, if President Weah continues on the path that he has chosen to bring the peace aspect of his life in the forefront, he could be marching towards the Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, reconciling with political opponents and showcasing them. If President Weah continues to do this, he will obtain the Nobel Peace Prize, because the presidency should not be his end. Maybe to crown him for the Nobel Peace Prize, he will not just need to reconcile with political opponents, he will need to now send Prince Yerube Johnson to where he belongs. Prince Yerube Johnson needs to account for the grotesque trauma he visited upon our country. This man is a heartless killer, and he needs to account for the crimes he committed in our country. For me, President, we are reaching out to me, reaching out to Costa, reaching out to Ambassador Brown, reaching out to his friend Salimsa Deba, his childhood friend, and everybody coming together, confirms that President Weah is an open-hearted person, that is large-hearted, and he got Liberia at heart. I said to that fellow that the president's enduring legacy will revolve around reconciliation and political inclusion. Today, you see the Unity Party people, how shameless they are. These people are now pathetically prostrating themselves before Bronskin's daughter in such a wild vote. Yesterday, Bwaka himself, a man driven by deep grudge, a grudge-driven man, with today, even though he has said in public that Bronskin was a Congo man, he will not take Bronskin as a vice presidential candidate to him, he will prostrate before Bronskin's daughter. If you said Bronskin was a Congo man and the whole Unity Party campaign was Bronskin and Kumi Tike, there's a Congo ticket. Now you turn around now, you are pathetically crawling before the Congo man's daughter and you asking for endorsement. Nothing could be more funny than this. If this was not about Liberia, we would be laughing Bwaka and her people to scorn. You can't do this. That's why politicians of national standing should not spew out divisive rhetoric. Oh, the other person, a Congo person, the other person, a that person. We are one group of people. Liberia first. And so, you see what they're doing now? It's reverse engineering. They want to talk about Costa. Oh, Costa looking for job. Oh, Costa looking for money. If you say Costa looking for day, looking for that, what are you looking for behind a sick, limping old man who is a professional sleeper?
Mr.
Ask United Party people. You're looking for, you want it behind Bwaka because you think he will resuscitate your life. He will bring you back to government so you can leech on the government cover. You go and tell Costa, Costa looking for, he hustling. What are you doing? Are you behind a sick, limping old man who is a professional sleeper? What do you want? The yanking on Bwaka because you want to come back to power and milk the coffer. That's all you're doing? So you ain't got no moral right to put more on Costa. He's looking for this. I said Jackson looking for this. We're not looking for anything beyond a better Liberia, a reconciled Liberia. This is political maturity. That's what we want. That's what we want. But your Bwaka is a what? Is a bearer of deep-seated grudges. That's why he left is the way it is. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf handpicked Bwaka as vice presidential president. He's a vice president for our republic. Ellen did that and showcased Bwaka, an obscure old man, to the world as vice president. Today, Bwaka still bearing grudges in his heart for Madam Sirleaf. Bwaka, his children work in the Sirleaf administration. Today, he still holds something against Madam Sirleaf. He has a list of what? 17 grievances against Ellen. Brother, how can you be impolite and be so unforgiving? How? So it's a shame. I think the Liberian people should reject Bwaka hands down. If you vote in favor of Bwaka, you will enable him to unleash his deep-seated grudges that he's been carrying for over decades. Don't do that, because if you do that, you will be complicit. The law says when you enable somebody to do bad things, you are complicit. You are an enabler. So Liberian people, don't vote for Bwaka. If you vote for Bwaka, Bwaka carried too many grudges in his heart. He will unleash those grudges and Liberia will not advance. This is my call tonight. I applaud my friend Henry Costa for being very bold. I applaud Ide Gonglo Ware. In fact, Ide Gonglo Ware demonstrated an outstanding badge of courage and honor. It is not an easy feat to go against the notorious killer of Prince Johnson in Nimba County. It is not an easy feat to disagree with your older brother. Ide did that. That's what I think the president needs to empower Ide, so Ide will traverse the whole of Nimba County and talk to their people that reconciliation is important. The CDC people supported Kun against Ide. Today, Ide say it matters little. What matters for me is a unified Liberia, a reconciled Liberia. That's what Ide is saying to us. That's what Costa is saying to us. That's what Asset Jackson is saying to the Republic. It matters little what happened to us personally as individuals. What matters for us is that Liberia should be reconciled. We should talk with one voice. What binds us together, the cord that binds us together should be stronger than the small thing that divide us. The president said I disagree. Everybody said I disagree. When the real thing comes to focus, Liberia should be fresh. I saw a colleague, I'm taking all time, but I thought to bring Ide into focus because Ide had done for me something that not many men will do. Look at the brother, Ide Gonglo Ware brother. This is why I will close on your hand and all of you will come in. Ide Gonglo Ware brother. One thing that he has succeeded in doing in Liberia is to conceal his indisputable tendency or his indisputable tribalistic tendency. Gonglo successfully concealed that indisputable tribalistic tendency and people pretending that he was a nice guy. Push come to shove, the tribalism comes out. Gonglo calls himself human red lawyer. He calls himself human red lawyer. Now, one day, has Gonglo called for the prosecution of Prince Johnson. He will bow before the tribalistic author of Prince Johnson and say, I endorsing Prince Johnson. Gonglo, human red lawyer, you embrace a mass murderer, a heartless killer, in the need of going to Baka. That's what you're doing. Gonglo, what moral does that man have to say the human red man when he goes to sit with butt naked, the man who will open the womb of a pregnant woman, living pregnant woman? These are people who are supposed to account for their crimes. I say to Liberian people, stand with President Weah. If President Weah get re-elected, at least you will see a symbol of reconciliation in the country. And the next thing we want to do when President Weah get re-elected, Prince Johnson has to account for his crimes. But naked has to account for that thing that he did in that country. He can't hide in God's name, because these people do all sorts of things in God's name.
Amen.
Okay. Let's welcome Chairman Costa and Sanvee. Look, and today maybe that Costa Day, because we've been traveling around the city.
Costa Day, sorry. Costa Day, I'm sorry, I brought you up people.
Costa broke that news today. So that news came out today. The picture came out today. We've been all around the city, my guys, and everywhere you go, Costa name everywhere. And so when people telling you, say, "Oh, Costa ain't mean nothing," that's a lie. Some people in the corner saying, "My man, what?" They already people, and trust me. And if Costa, they already preparing to say Costa coming go on the trail. It's not easy thing. Citizens are happy. I'm telling you, I was somewhere just now. Man, they're celebrating. There are some UP people. They also saying, "Damn, my man, how do we reach to the point?" I'm telling you, Costa is here. He will tell you how he arrived at a decision and what he plans to do. And the Costa law is all yours. And I know people been everywhere went today. Every restaurant went to what he had lunch today. Everywhere went today. Drinking spot are your name. Your name is the topic. So, brother, you have made it. Like it's Liberian.
I mean, the man is popular. I don't care what.
Let me say my small piece before the two people then come on. I beg you, Chairman, please, because I know what you and then Costa will come on. But let me say this. You know what? It's great that the closing argument is back. I've been hearing all these noise on social media. What happened to the closing argument? But that's for a whole different topic.
You get ready.
You know what happened? What happened today, and what we see happening? Two things I want to touch on. One is this whole noise around integrity and patriotism. I see some of these guys questioning Herron's patriotism and his integrity. The Unity Party, and I've been consistent with this. The Unity Party, knows, if they don't know anything, they know too well what this hypocrisy actually means. Because, and Herron can defend himself, but if you of all party would question anyone's integrity, then, and you ask the question, well, his action says more about him than anything else after all have been said and done, then you must also ask yourself this question. Does Prince Johnson and Falcon, do they have more integrity and patriotism than Herron Costa? Because Falcon publicly used the podium of the Liberian people and the Liberian government to insult many of these guys on social media. We saw that. We saw when he said that Joseph Boakai, and I quote, is less educated than George Weah. He said all these things. Today, you celebrate him and you have embraced him. You have embraced and you continue to celebrate a criminal and a killer in Prince Johnson. You have embraced and continue to celebrate people who committed hideous crimes in Liberia. People that butt naked. You have embraced characters that, when we start to talk about them and what they stand for. Joseph Boakai went to court. He looked in the eyes of Alice Cumming, a man he has known for all these years, and said, "I do not know that man." Only to have seen him climb those stairs on the balcony of Cummins's mansion to beg for vote. What does that say about Joseph Boakai? What does that say about Joseph Boakai? What does that say about the party? You say Henry Costa is a hustler. He's a this. But you left in care the hands of Joseph Boakai. You left Joseph Boakai in care of the hands of a man you call a hustler. You left major fundraisers in the care of a man you now call a hustler. What does that say about you and your party? How can you talk about integrity and try to convince us? Before Henry started supporting Joseph Boakai, there was a point where Henry supported the CDC government. A lot of things were said. We were on social media. Some of you guys insulted us. What does that say about you when you embrace him back? I will let these guys come in. Let chairman and others come in. But let me say this to Liberian people. Some of us will remain independent, and I don't give a damn what you think and what your opinions are about our decisions, right? But this is exactly what we said during the first round. The Unity Party chairman have burned many bridges. The Unity Party had no strategy when it came to reconsolidating the base. The Unity Party have hurt people who would have done anything for them. The Unity Party have done these things to people who did everything, even against their own will and the wills of others who were close to them. And when these people made the obvious choice, now they're attacking their personality. They're attacking their person. This is what the Unity Party has done. And to see that George Weah, after all of the disappointments, after all of the performance issues, that George Weah is going into this runoff with the most momentum, is going. Who anticipated that George Weah will go into this runoff as close at these elections, as victorious as he has? It's indicative to what the Unity Party has done. And like Jackson said, once and for all, I agree with Cummins. I think the prerequisites and the condition Cummins put forth, I think they are very easy recommendations. And I agree. I think it's time that Prince Johnson is turned over. And for once and for all, imagine what will happen if George Weah wins these elections. What will happen is the end of a man who has been seen as a determining factor in these elections in our country for many years. Prince Johnson and the factor of Prince Johnson and Nima Kante will no longer have a say-so in our democracy, will no longer be a determining factor who becomes the next president, because the message will be loud and clear. We do not need characters like Prince Johnson and others to have key voices in our democracy. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to say something quickly before Costa comes in. I know he's the guest for now. But it's good to be on, and everybody want to thank everybody for their patience. Tomalin, Dr. Peabody, I like that bow tie, by the way. It was good to be on. Look, we're going to make this is going to be clear. Moving forward, this platform, y'all get ready for this platform. We're going to have an A-list cast coming on. Henry Costa will be here frequently. Telia Ure. Sometimes Mariah Yakula. I mean, it's going to be fiery. Ajay Jackson. All of us are going to be here. And the truth of the matter here is we are at a critical juncture in our country's history. This election is a turning point. And I said over and over that this is a choice now between the last breed of a dying generation and the face of a future generation looking to forge ahead. No matter how imperfect we have been. We are claiming our spot now. We are going to claim our spot now. And Robert, you hit the head. People like Prince Johnson, their days are numbered.
It's over.
They will be inconsequential members of the Liberian Senate. Prince Johnson will no longer, because guess what? George Weah will win this runoff. He will. George Manneh Weah will win this runoff. He will win this runoff because Joseph Yuma Boakai, his vision, making, and his ability to decide is flawed.
Breaking news.
Boakai has put our country on a national security collusion course. And so you see my brother Henry Costa, look, many people don't know how close me and this man is. And I've always said to Costa that you stand in a moment of history that you have to seize and own. You are far from perfect. You have hurt a lot of people, but also, you owe it to your country not to be silent. Because at the end of this process, you want to be able to beat your chest and say, I did everything that I could do to avoid a catastrophe from coming on our country. Look at the level of arrogance. Look at the people who are insulting Henry Costa today. Like you said, Robert, when Joseph Boakai was in the care of Henry Costa, when he was driving him around, when he was cooking for him, he didn't poison him.
Making hotels arrangements.
Making hotel arrangement. And they had
I used to call Robert. I remember.
Thank you.
Boakai was returning to Liberia. Sorry, guys. I just need to
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, brother.
Robert,
Go ahead.
Robert, I need to get a hotel for my old man. He's going back. Can you give me a discount, please? Robert hooked me up with a Marriott, and we got a nice room, and we got a good discount. Then Robert mail, and Robert knew I was getting those rooms for Joe Boakai. But Robert was professional, and as a good friend, he helped me. It saved me several $100s.
Of course.
This Robert. I just thought to point that out, folks.
So, Costa, you're going to come in now. So let me just end my small little monologue. I repeat, the decision-making ability of Joseph Yuma Boakai is questionable. He has put our country on the national security collusion course. He is bringing us full force in collusion to the policies and the interests of our number one ally, the United States of America. We got to be very clear here. This election is not about George Weah. This election is not about George Manneh Weah. It's certainly not about Joseph Boakai. These two men just happen to be the faces of different resistance. Joseph Boakai happens to be the resistance of an old dying generation that want to lynch onto power because they believe that power is the insurance policy. I said the other day, look at the CDC rally and look at the Unity Party rally. When you see the faces in the CDC rally, you see the future of the country. The people that you are insulting, those young men and women, those first-time voters. When you look at the Unity Party rally, yeah, you see some young people, but look at Joseph Boakai surrounding. A bunch of old people who feel this is just their last opportunity. Well, I got news for you. You guys will never get that opportunity because men will stand up. Women will stand up. And Henry Costa, I want to congratulate you for your endorsement. I want to congratulate you for the decision you made because I believe, and I said it on this platform before, if the Liberian people gave me the same option they gave me in 2017, you know exactly where I would pick.
These boys are bad.
Close the argument. Close the argument, man. Close the argument, gentlemen. Close the argument.
And
close the argument.
What we have to do, but Henry, let me and I will end on this note.
Close the argument.
Because I'm getting ready to catch a flight and to get into the airspace.
Vacation is last week.
No.
The chairman's speaking.
We are getting ready to come. We're getting ready to put boots on the ground because we have to stop this calamity from befalling on our country.
Solid.
I see you play. Y'all play all the old videos y'all won't play. Do you know what they say about George Weah? That I could criticize him publicly. And when I go to Liberia, he pick up the phone and call me and say, "You my small brother, can I talk?" Y'all who even in power here, when we criticize Joe Boyka, y'all say we are unpatriotic. Imagine what will happen, what kind of Liberia we will have if Joe Boyka is president of Liberia. When you criticize him, they shut you up. So y'all play all your old video y'all want to play. We will make the case. We will close the argument, and the Liberian people will rise. This train, not that other thing y'all got to say, the train you're on. This train is on its way, moving forward. Forward, ever. Backward, never. And Henry Costa, I want to congratulate you, my brother. You are an amazing man. I am proud of you. I am proud to call you my brother. And there is no better person I would like to go to war with any day than you. I rest for now.
The chairman.
So
They're closing the argument.
I want to ask question. Costa, a quick question before he come in though. I know he got to make a statement on here real quick, but let me just ask a question. You mentioned the fact that Robert have been very instrumental in the reservation of hotel rooms and everything for Honorable Boykai. Yet and still, they were ungrateful. Did that factor into your decision to refer to them as ungrateful son of my swine?
It's one of the tiniest elements of the overall consummate factor. You know, there were many elements. They all factored into that. Yes, but in 2021, Robert, being a very good friend, did hook me up because Wakai always used to travel when he comes to me with a big delegation. The man ain't got money. He won't travel like he stay VP. Then poor me got to be going around begging people to hustle for money, to buy him plane ticket. So now I will call my boy Monrovia AJ, my man, what your Delta best rates now? He got to fly business class. I'm looking for money all over the place for that old man. The last trip, they were four: Joe Boakai, Charles Snetter, Jacob Kabakoli, and Maury Nima. The four of them, the tickets cost 15 grand. A friend of mine in Minnesota, I squeezed 9K out of him.
Wow.
9K. Who bought the tickets on his credit card, and we raised it. And that trip cost us $30,000, excluding the medical. I had to swipe my debit card to the hospitals we took him. I took Joseph Boakai to hospital to see doctor. Joseph Boakai, the doctor said Joseph Boakai sick. Joseph Boakai, all know we concerned about it. We booked tickets. I still have the tickets. I can forward the tickets to you guys via email right now. The ticket is still open. March 23rd, Boakai was supposed to leave Accra to JFK and then to Minneapolis. And I will pick him up and drive him to Rochester in Minnesota, where the Mayo Clinic is. I booked the Airbnb there, costing me $3,370 from March 23rd to April 7th for 2 weeks after his surgery. Boakai later looked at me and said the reason he was not going to get the surgery done. I don't want to start by this. I'll tell you how dangerous Joe Boakai and the people around him are. This man, I carry you to doctor. The first doctor say, you sick, you must do surgery. Okay. We'll go to the second doctor. Second doctor say, you sick, you must do surgery. Your lower descending artery, it has weakened to the extent where they need to graft your thigh and extract an artery from there, remove the weakened artery from your heart and replace it with that one. That is what was causing the palpitations or the irregular heartbeat of Joseph Boakai, which triggered the heart attack he had in January of this year. I had come to Liberia for the first time in 2 years. I had no plan to return to the US immediately. When I had to do it, when I was forced to do so, Boakai fainted. He has 8 episodes, 6 in his bathroom where he was going towards the bathroom to pee. Had it not been for his foster daughter who held him, he would have fallen to the ground. It would have been a disaster. We would have been hearing a different story. But she held him before he hit the ground. So she saved him. I woke up in the morning. I'm inundated with missed calls from all of his close people. I was like family, guys. I was like family with these people. They called me. Your Uncle Joe had a very terrible thing. We had to carry him to ELWA. I go to ELWA hospital to see Joe Boakai. It was on a Friday. I believe a Friday or Saturday, because I was leaving on the 14th of January. I go to the hospital. There's Joe Boakai strapped to an oxygen machine because he couldn't breathe on his own. His breathing was not regular. They didn't tell me what the medical report was. They said, "Oh yeah, he's looking all right. He will be fine and everything." They were hiding it from me. But then they said the old man has to be flown abroad. I said, "Why?" They said because the doctor said the condition is critical. He needs to go abroad. They still did not tell me that Boakai needed a triple bypass surgery. I cut my trip short, started begging for money. We flew Boakai abroad, he and his entire entourage. Boakai got to the States. I made the arrangement, took him to see Dr. Abizem, a Syrian doctor. It was the second time meeting this doctor. He's a cardiologist. He's in Philly. We go to see Dr. Abizem. Dr. Abizem said, your condition is critical. They examined him. They had the medical report from Liberia sent to the US. They confirmed everything the doctor in Liberia had found that's wrong with him. We decided to go to see an internal medicine doctor, a Nigerian doctor who has been practicing for more than 30 years. We go to see him. He too confirms it, that if Joe Boakai does not get a triple bypass surgery done within 6 to 9 months, he runs the risk of collapsing or having that artery completely fail, and he could die any time. We were scared. We started panicking. That's when they told me what actually the initial diagnosis from ELWA had said. I was scared. I was like, is this the man we are trying to make president of the country? And the doctors are saying if he doesn't do this major surgery. So we decided to do consultation. The surgeons that do this procedure, they are called cardiothoracic surgeons. We decided to consult. Because of his age, they said if he does this procedure, he's going to be knocked out of commission for 6 to 9 months, up to even a year. Then he's diabetic, which will make it difficult for the healing. The incisions will take longer to heal because he's diabetic. And they say he would be completely unable to do any physical activity. We tried to convince him to stay in the States and see how we could hustle for the money to get the surgery done because he doesn't have his insurance. Boakai said he had to return to Liberia, and then we had to bring him back. So we hustled. We found some money to bring him back. I found the money, $25,000. We bought the tickets. I have the tickets here. I have the Airbnb. We booked it. Everything was set. Cost over $10,000. I had another between $10,000 to $15,000 cash for him and Jake to come. The plan was we would take some photos because now they think, well, how do we manage it so that the likes of you, intelligent men, would not suspect that Boakai is undergoing or has undergone a procedure that inhibits him from doing normal activities. So I came up with the idea. We would take some photographs over several days in several different attires, and we'll keep those photographs. And then we'll begin to slowly release them while he's in the States, because we cannot not be in a position where we don't say anything about Joe Boakai being in America, because he would have had to be in America for many, many months. That was the conundrum that we faced, gentlemen. Boakai was supposed to leave on March the 23rd. I have the plane tickets here, guys. He and Jake bought him one business class ticket, $2,900 from Accra to New York. And then the Alaska airline flight from Monrovia to Accra. He and nephew Jake. The tickets cost about 10 grand, the two of them. A week before the trip, Jacob Kabakoli called me and said to me that Joseph Boakai had decided he would not make the trip anymore. I was shocked. Normally, that's something Joe Boakai himself would talk to me about. I knew something was at play. I waited until eventually on March 30th, Joseph Boakai himself wrote me a message, which I have here in my phone, which some of you have read, telling me that his health result was already public knowledge, public information, and his planned return for open heart surgery was being discussed everywhere, and how he would die in the surgery. It was arranged for him to die in the surgery so that then the election would be over and he would not be able to participate. I said, Uncle Joe, you believe this sort of thing that I, Henry Costa, would arrange? He said, well, that's what my people told me. So Joe Boakai said he will only go for the surgery after winning the presidency. I said, what? The doctors told you that the condition you have, you may look well right now, like you were looking before your episode in January, but you could collapse at any moment. If anything triggers, an elevated stress could trigger a heart attack. And you want to go through a stressful situation like an election, which could possibly go to a runoff and then get inaugurated before going for this life-saving procedure? Like I said, he will not go for the surgery until he's president of the republic. Then he will leave the country with Prince Johnson and Jeremiah Kuhn, because are the people he eventually picked, and then go America. So this thing, I see you guys talking. I said, Jason, I listened to you yesterday morning or this morning as I was driving, going somewhere to meet the president, by the way, and I was like, yeah, about that. I was enjoying you. You were propounding the issues as you were doing here quite effectively and very brilliantly, as have all of you guys. But you don't know the nitty-gritty. These are some of the things I'm about to begin to tell the country. This man was saying to me, Henry, when we win a presidency, after they inaugurate me, then I will lead the country and go for the surgery and then hope, because now you're hoping. By then, the condition would have worsened, but the Boakai's condition is not the same way it was back in March when we took him when he went to the station in January. It's not the same. It must have worsened. I'm told they have him on stimulants, all kinds of energy boosters, all kinds of things to keep him going, just so he can be able to stand the rigors of the campaign. So their plan is, in order to convince him, for him to not go for the surgery, they have to tell him that I want to kill him. You see why they made it? It was a practical lie to serve a specific end. Costa, he listens to Costa. Costa has arranged for him to go. Costa raised the money all for him to go. So we must tell him that Costa won't kill him. Then he will not go. To tell you how gullible, Jeremiah Kuhn said the man going downhill. Joseph Boakai is no longer in charge of himself. Like a normal octogenarian. Their very life and everything they do is dictated by people, by their words. Boakai is not himself. He's a puppet they are using to get to the presidency and do what they want to. If Kuhn wants to be president, it is his right. Let him put himself out on a ticket and present himself to the people, he and Prince Johnson, and the people may decide whether they want him or not. But it is very inherently and diabolically ingenious and dishonest of Joe Boakai to ask the country to make him president so that he may turn the country over to a lunatical, deranged, and unstable mass murdering warlord, which poses a threat to our national security interests, as well as the national security interests of our most important ally, the United States, so that he, Joe Boakai, can go for a surgery. And then the rest of the country will go on their knees and be hoping that our 80-year-old president may pull through, return to the country, recuperate in 6 months to 1 year, and then resume his duties as president of the republic. Why would Bouakai do this to us? Do you know what Jojo Bouakai's reaction was? He said, "But to be honest, Daddy, we can't do this to the country." We had a Zoom meeting on March 2nd. I still have the Zoom link right here, guys. I created a Zoom link to discuss Bouakai's trip. We were scared, guys. Bouakai is not a healthy man. But you all know the man fell off. You all know I'm talking to America. You all know that. Why do you think I took him? I took him to see doctors. The danger in all of this is that it is not Joe Bouakai you would be voting for. Those of you who are voting for him, you will be giving votes to Bouakai to hand power over, if he won, God forbid, which I believe shall not happen, to give our country to Prince Johnson and Jeremiah Cole. That is the danger, gentlemen. That is a real danger here. Clear and present danger that must be resisted. And so let me say it before I close. They make it seem like Costa today is a sellout. When I took a poor, broke Joseph Bouakai, who was vice president for 12, you know, the other day, Joe, told me, my man, you don't want to put a trouble on by the public coming. I said, no, that you. Because when Bouakai had his heart attack in 2018, if you had not sent him to Rhode Island to get a pacemaker installed, perhaps this calamity, which God forbid might descend upon this country, would have been avoided. But you saved him first, and I came to continue. So you are to be blamed. He started laughing. You, because Joe did not phantom that a would-be 80-year-old man with poor health would be contemplating running. But I take responsibility, because here's what I did. When Bouakai said to me, Henry, I cannot run because I can't take care of myself, I said, let me go find money to be taking care of you. Bouakai became my ward, and I became his benefactor. All they causing me. Bouakai was on allowance. I got receipts upon receipts upon receipts upon receipts. When United Party was evicted from their headquarters, they couldn't pay rent. I went and hustled and begged, and we got 60,000, and I transferred. I got all the transfer documents. I sent the money to Bouakai to give to Amin Muda to pay the rent. Bouakai ate 40,000 and gave Amin only 20,000. And they called me complaining, but and you sent 60. I said, but they only get all 20. Every time I sent Bouakai another 10,000 in June 2021 during the heat of COVID to buy some oxygen tanks and other things to go identify our people. Bouakai never did the donation. The donor wanted to see pictures. Bouakai could not provide the pictures. All these things man can talk. When I said man can talk, I literally meant these were things I had to deal with. This man I have sold and embellished to the public that he is a saint. He is beyond reproach. He was eating money, diverting funds for things that the funds were not intended for. But I could not talk it. I had to continue to sell him. So for me, the most important reason why we left is not how he treated us, but it is the fact that we know he's sick. And he cannot look in my eye and say, you're not sick because his hospital payment is on my credit card. I get it on my credit card. I can go print it all now from January 2023. You will see all the payments for carrying Bouakai to the hospital, for blood work, for internal examination, for everything. Bouakai is not the one who would be president if you voted for him to be president. It would be Kun and Prince Johnson, and our international friends would not be happy, and the country, they could turn out their backs on us. So make not that mistake. Do not vote for Joseph Bouakai. If a man can abandon his own health and recklessly endanger himself and still seeks the office of president of a country as critically dire as ours, such a man is not responsible and is not to be trusted with national leadership. I submit.
No, but Costa, you are right. You are right. I mean, just to pick up on the point you made, I know the other colleagues, you are right, because what you say, Costa, it validates the African proverb. And I think Maya Angelou made that proverb very popular when she said, be careful when naked men get you shot. Bouakai doesn't love himself. Because anybody who loves himself will not be in this declining health and vie for the presidency. That he doesn't love himself, by extension, he doesn't love our country. Because you can't love our country and want to leave the country in the hands of an epically incompetent coon. A coon is not just inherently corrupt, coon is epically incompetent. So how can you leave our country with coon, an epically incompetent guy, and a notorious murderer like Prince Johnson? You see what Baka doing to the country? You see what he's doing, Costa? I believe your testimony. That's why after your testimony, he sunk in after you. And I went back to him. I said, Jojo, you better sit down. You said my friend talk Datra. When that man was dragging your pa all around looking for hospital for him, where were you? That your pa is even nepotistic confirmed. Why you even saying the first business meeting you gotta go to in Ghana? People you behind him.
But let me say something. And the reason why Jojo never travels with his father to the States, the 2 trips he made, very simple. Jojo is reckless and irresponsible. He went to the States, he overstayed, and violated his visa terms. And so the role he's supposed to be playing as Bwakai's eldest son fell to me to be taking care of his car and driving him around, because Jojo can't get a visa to go to America. That's why Jojo never went. The 2 trips Bwakai went to the States. So look, I was in this family only because they were using me, raising the money to sustain them. And you know what? I kept receipts. I got records. Good. I got records. I got everything I can publish. The plane ticket is still open with Delta Airlines. The Airbnb I rented and everything. So my people, this is not about what he did to us. It is about what he intends to do to the country.
Right.
He wants to take the country and give it to Prince Johnson, a deranged, mass murdering warlord, unrepentant, who pretends and masquerades to be a man of God, to plunge this country into chaos. So the thing is, I'd rather have 10 years of George Weah than 12, possibly 18 years of complete calamity. Period. That's how I did the math. It's just that simple.
Brother, you are a watered patriot. You are indeed a watered patriot, brother.
Brother Jackson, let me just ask Costa a quick question here, and then hopefully the rest of us can come to. I'm just a little concerned about few things that are stated here. Costa made mention of the fact that, again, wow, this is shocking. I don't know how many Liberians out there are listening to this. Wow, Liberia's in trouble. Let's be honest about this. I'm just baffled of the fact that we are even at this point where we are making the decision with a health concern possible president. Let's be honest here, and a President Weah. You made a statement during the before the primary or the first election, right? You said that Jeremiah Coon is a human body part seller. You made that statement. And then you came back and apologized about the statement made about Jeremiah Coon being a ritualist or whatever, however it is termed or however it may have been termed. Today, you're telling us again everything that may have transpired between you and Honorable Boykai. Why should Liberians believe your narrative when you came back and apologized about the statement made previously about Jeremiah Coon, when Jeremiah Coon, did not deny it? He didn't say, oh no, what Henry Costa says is a lie. He took your apology and ran with it, but you apologized. And Liberian thought that it was enough to run with it. They didn't say, oh, Jeremiah Coon denied it. And I can tell you there isn't, and there wasn't a point where Jeremiah Coon denied his involvement in human body parts or selling or whatever it is. But you apologize for that statement made. And here we are again talking about all of these things that Honorable Boykai presented to you, in appears to have been that you and Honorable Boykai were very deceptive to Liberians. You made us to believe that this man was healthy. And of course, he was capable enough to take on the mantle of authority. Here you are telling us that these things transpired. Costa, why should Liberian believe your narrative?
That's a good question, Lofa. So
Thank you.
Bwakai's health issue really started in January when he fell off. Let's look at the timeline. In January, Bwakai had that episode, that health scare, beyond a health scare, which took him to ELWA, and he was bedridden for weeks until we flew him to the States. So I didn't always know prior to that time that Bwakai's health was bad. It was from January, which the whole country knew about. And yes, am I guilty for trying to minimize the severity of the condition? I am. I did that. But that's what people do when you are in an organization. Crisis management. You try to minimize the effect, or that's what people do when you're in an organization. So we try to downplay the seriousness of it while we made frantic efforts to get him to get the help that he needed. What did I do, Lofa? We made it look like it wasn't all that serious. And then what did we do? We took him out of the country. I cut my trip short. You all know that. Flew him to the United States, went to see the doctors, and we got to know there and then how serious his condition was. So yes, I didn't always know that he was that sick. What made me scared was when we were told just how sick he is. Not by one doctor, 3. The one from ELWA, an American doctor, and the internal medicine doctor in the States, the Nigerian doctor, and the Syrian American doctor, Dr. Abizem. Now, having said that, on the other issue, when you are in politics, there's something called expediency. The retraction and apology offered to Kun were birthed out of political expediency. People asked me to withdraw it. They were not sincere. That's one of the things you have to do when you are in a political organization. People say,
I had to interrupt you, Costa. I just had to say thank you. Again, Lopa is vindicated. Thank you.
Yeah, so it was out of political expediency. We had heard, and not just me, lots of people have heard a preponderance of terribly mystical things about Kun, shady things, unfashionable things about Jeremiah Kun and his dealings. So the things I said, I was simply regurgitating long-standing rumors, deep-founded rumors supported by some of the mysterious things that have happened to members of his, family, including spouse and all that kind of stuff. That's where it stemmed from. Very solid testimonials from people who knew him. Now, but there's something else I'd like to say. I'm on this platform. I want to seize this opportunity to offer from the bottom of my heart sincerest apologies to all of our friends, particularly those in the ANC, the CPP, because of the role I played. And I've never shied away from admitting in an unrequited fashion the leading role I play in the dismantling of the CPP solely in the interest of protecting Joe Bwakai's presidential aspirations. Because I was under the impression that with Ellis Cummings' financial wherewithal, he would have had an disproportionate unfair advantage at a CPP convention. Being convinced of that, we believed that had we stayed in the CPP with Joe Bwakai, and Joe Bwakai was on board with it, with this whole plan. But he said, I can't be the one to initiate it because it will make me look bad as the elder statesman. So I decided to carry the bucket for him as usual. So I just want to offer that sincere apology to all of our people.
Thank you.
At the end of the day, look where it landed us. Perhaps we should have kept old man Bwakai, who was unsuspecting of the political danger that loomed over his not so good presidential aspiration, so that it could be snuffed, that life could be snuffed out of it at a CPP primary, as opposed to rescuing him from the CPP so that he may be what he is today. And I regret the role I played. And one thing that UP people will never tell you, they can never negate and question the fact that I played a leading role in resuscitating Boakai's moribund political career after 2017. They can't argue against
Absolutely.
that. They will also not tell you that Henry Costa was now spending money left and right on Joe Boakai. When I supported him, he didn't give me money. I had a $40,000 contract with Daniel Cassell. One day, Boakai called his niece, his nephew's wife, Louis Tamba, in Minnesota, with whom I was very close, who was very close with Boakai, one of his very close people, and complained that he was afraid he might lose me to Cassell because I had a professional consultant contract, which was strictly for Cassell's nonprofit organization. It was $40,000 a year, for doing nothing, basically. But Cassell was using that as a launch pad for his would-be presidential bid. And Boakai, I went and terminated my $40,000 a year contract for this old ungrateful man. So I have tons of regrets for things that I did for these people, but it's not about me. My fear is about the country. This man wants to give the country to Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson said it. He said it in that recording. I worked hard. I made Joe Boakai sideline Yombly and Costa. You all heard it. I made Joe Boakai sideline Yombly and Costa so that he can pick Jeremiah Kun. You have to make me shame. They man old. They man sick. You know when he win, that Kun will be running the country. You all heard that. Is that not scary? Before Boakai named Kun, Prince Johnson was already in Nimba on a local radio station announcing that Jeremiah Kun would be the running mate.
True.
When Joseph Boakai went to Carrollsburg on Wednesday, April 26, 2 days shy of his naming ceremony, we told Boakai, Mr. Ure spoke. I didn't speak. I didn't say a word. Are you comfortable with these people? Do you trust these people with the country? You know what Boakai told Mr. Ure? He said, Ben, in the forest, there are many animals. But when you get there, you got to learn to work with them. He said, you sure? He said, well, if I got to dance with the devil to win, I would dance with the devil to win. It was a profound disappointment. I see all the UP people who are disappointed in Costa. Joseph Boakai made me feel like God, he was not born by or onto an earthly mother, that his birth was immaculate. His conception itself was immaculate as that of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Only to come tell us that he was prepared to dance with the devil just to be president. So Boakai chose his devil, Prince Johnson, Jeremiah Kun, Ellis Jenica Tyler, and the rest of them. Leave us to choose our devil to dance with, and we'll see which devil can dance better. Whether that the woman devil or that the man devil. But I know our devil can dance better than his devil.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a quick question. I want to talk about. Let me frog into what's gonna happen in the next 2 weeks. Clearly, you are supporting President Weah. Are you going to be very involved in this campaign? What role do you envisage yourself playing in the campaign? And then talk to us about, especially without giving any private information, but what was your conversation like with the president, and what did it for you to make that pivot, to say, you know what, with everything that has happened between me and George Weah, I think he deserves a second term because we're not going to be able to turn the country over to Joe Boakai. What did it for you?
That's very good. Guys, I'm going to be as honest as possible. As honest as possible. There are things I will not say about what the president and I discussed, but there are things I will also say. But there are several things that did it for me. Number one, we all like to accuse George Weah of being very intolerant, very politically immature. But guys, I don't know whether he's pretending, but if he is, then he's a very good actor. He could win an Oscar for that. But he seemed genuinely changed in terms of You cost me, we will sit down, I will still talk to you. It was astonishing. I'm not saying he was never like that before, but I think he's becoming politically mature and tolerant. He said something to me. He said, my man, my wife says she wants to meet you. You remember when you said so, but she says she wants to meet you. I was like, well, I talk her, and I was like, it was kind of awkward to say that, President, his wife wants to meet, So I was like, then he said to me, he said, my wife told me, he said, I say you might not talk to other people to come support you, but better go talk to Costa. Then he said, but when the Costa, well, he says, he said, but man. So for me, the fact that he was willing to even have a conversation with me about that and us talking about things that we disagree with him about and admitting to me that there were mistakes that were made, that was very key. He said it. He said we made some mistakes. Even though personally, I didn't do all of those things, but I take responsibility because I'm glad you realized it. He said, I take responsibility. Then he kept talking about legacy. He said, I'm 57. If God bless me, I get another term. I want to leave and be like Goodluck Jonathan. Those guys that they can send to other countries on, diplomatic missions and to go to the. I want to be in that position. And to do that, I need to leave on a high note. I want to leave with my head high. So we have to do better. George Weah, who we all say, is so much into himself, he is the best. He said, no, there's room to do so much better. But sometimes you don't give us chance to just shed a little light on the good things we do. And so it makes it difficult for us to even want to engage. A big part of why he can be a little indifferent is because he said we're too hard on them. So what they do is that they just say, let's just do what we can do. They will stay talk, but let's just do what we can do. And I said, I'm glad that you're concerned about your legacy. Because when you leave power, Mr. President, if God blesses you with a second term, you will be just about 60, 63 years old. And so you have much longer time around. Now, it was not a conversation what we're talking about, what's in it for you? I never talk. In fact, I told him I have no interest in working in the government. Guys, I want to say on this show, I have absolutely zero interest in a government job. I made that clear to the president the last time. I made it clear to him again today. There is absolutely nothing wrong with working for your country. In fact, it's a glorious opportunity that anybody would have to work for your country. Not necessarily for the president, but for your country. But for me, at this point in time in my life, I have no such interest. But I think George Manen Weah, on Sunday, when our party speaks and officially declares, we're going to rally around him, Ben, to answer the second aspect of your question. We will be on the road, campaigning with him, stomping, as the Americans say, making speeches, radio appearances. We will do those things because I'd rather have George Weah that we know his strengths and his weaknesses, that we can engage. Today, something happened. He did something today after I left him. I will not say exactly what that was. I called him. Something came to my attention. And I called him. I said, Mr. President, I need you to please consider doing this. He said, it makes sense. And it was a good thing. You know what he did? Right away, he picked up the phone and placed the call. He did it. And I was surprised. I said, wow. If he keeps on like this, we might just get a lot of things done together. He placed that call, and it was a very good call for the country, in the interest of the country.
Could that also be a campaign stunt?
No, it was not a campaign stunt.
It's authentic.
But how you know?
Let me.
Authentic.
You weren't there? Let
No,
me
it had nothing to do with
that.
campaign. So far, it had nothing to do with a campaign. It was completely apolitical. Yeah.
Let me ask a quick question. Aaron, it's great to have you on, and I'm listening. I'm just listening. It's great to be listening. But I want you. I'm asking you. I want to be objective, and just for the purpose of the audience and There are people who are independent. There are people who they have no interest in the day-to-day politics, and it just perhaps they're disappointed in a lot of our politicians and people with voices in our country, people like yourself, right? And there's this old adage that talks about politics being a theater of ugly people. And in other terms, it talks about politicians being actors, right? That they put on this scripted act for folks. And at times, the best actor wins, right? And I think Lofa asked you a question in regards to that, but I don't want to ask the question Lofa asked you. I want to, hold on, I'll come back. I'll come back.
Okay, Henry, let me
Let Peabody come in.
let me ask you one question, Henry. When I hear you talk, I think about Mr. Ure, who invested, put a lot of resources out there. When you were talking, I could feel it, knowing what you went through, because I personally visited you with the VP, and you were in graduate program. You're doing a graduate program at the time, but you would take her from school to ensure that the meal and the diet that he was on, that it was the right diet, and you would go in the kitchen and prepare food. You went the extra mile. When I saw you moving around that day, the meat, how you were cutting the meat and doing everything, and I could feel that. I think about Mr. Ure as well, who invested his time, his resources. One thing I should ask you, what made you to stay that long? Why you did not get frustrated, but you hang in there until you saw the real betrayal?
Well, I think Bwaga was still pretending about who he really was. But I think what really did it for us, several things I noticed. And to be honest, dangerous things, dangerous traits and tendencies that were long rumored about Bwaga that I foolishly attempted to ignore. And Isaac Jackson has spoken very powerfully and forcefully about that. Waka's tendency, his begrudging. He holds a segment of our country, the American Liberian or the Congo people. He holds them in contempt. This man went to CWA, a school during those days dominated population-wise by so-called American Liberian, Congo people children. In fact, the highlight of his life was, he always talks about this, when he became president he beat John T. Richardson to become president of the student council. He's proud of that feat. And it was Willis Knockers, he told me, who recommended him to Ellen to be her running mate. He told me he was literally on a checkerboard playing checkers, had no job. When Willis Knocker went to grab him to say, Ellen wants you. And he told me about this friend who loaned him an old Pajero, Mitsubishi Pajero, that he used to drive in 2005. And that guy will break down him multiple times. Ben, you are alive. So he said that. And I was like, so Ellen really took this man from nowhere. So, but this man believes that somehow he made Ellen. You know why I hear Isaac say, Ellen made the man. That's not how the man thinks. Isaac, the man told me that it was because of him that people voted for Ellen. Even though Bwaga ran for senator in Lofa in 1997 during the proportional representation time, and Bwaga came fourth or third in the race. Did you all know that Bwaga was whipped in 1997 when he ran for the Senate in Lofa?
Yeah. That's a good reflection.
Bwaga did run for senator, by the way, in Lofa. They beat him badly, but that's just a point in passing. But so I saw that, and then he talks about the thing how Ellen wanted him to pick Brumsky. You know what the in America, he had a lot of time on his hands, so we used to talk a lot, right? How Ellen wanted him to pick Brumsky. He told Ellen, when you pick me, did anybody force you to pick me? Well, who brought you to Ellen? Didn't you say that Willis Knocker brought you? He said, I'm not here to give Congo people power. He said that. The reason Bwaka never wanted communists, people lied on communists for years. And some of us sat down there knowing the truth and never spoke out. They said communists had to be, he won't be VP. It's a lie. Bwaka said he can't get Congo man power. Communists are Congo man.
Wow, breaking news. Breaking news.
No, but how left that in my piece?
About me one day. Bwaka told people, say, look at laptop, bright, Ray Congo man, like he talking about Pele man. That's the remark Bwaka made about me one day. Somebody came and told me that Bwaka say a Ray tall Congo. You not see Pele man be tall and Ray like that. They ain't got Ray. They ain't got fair skin Pele people.
It's not normal.
So when he was eating my money all those years, taking care of him, flying him left and right, I was not Congo man until when he's running my business now. He said, "A Congo man." Bwaka hates Congo people.
Yeah.
Not only Congo people, he's deeply tribalistic. The most influential people around Bwaka are people from Lofa fans. Let me tell you the vetting. Who here knows the makeup of Bwaka's vetting committee? The committee he put together to vet he never announced the vetting committee. Well, he didn't have to do that, but I will tell you the makeup.
Can you share with us?
I will. Brownie Samuka.
Document is working as nice.
Kisi man. Yuma Lin Francis. Our friends in Yuma Lin. Kisi man. He had like 3 Kisis. Jacob Kabakoli. Kisi man. Kofi Woods. So you see what they did? And you know what the plan was? Brownie was pushing Queen because Brownie's mother and Kuhn's mother, they come from the same district in Nimba. So Brownie was pushing Kuhn because the plan is when his uncle dies, which they expect to happen sooner rather than later, then Kuhn becomes president and Kuhn will pick him, Brownie, as vice president. Then Brownie will claim Helofa because Helofa lineage is what he relies on or what he leans on. That was a plan. And then at the same time, too, Prince Moyi waiting to be vice president, too. Then you got, they also lied to Yombli and say, okay, you know what happened? Yombli said, we pick you now, but when something happened, you will become VP to Jeremiah Kuhn. So that one VP job was promised to so many people. If something happened to Bwaka, they will give VP to the other person, VP to the other person. Imagine the chaos that will happen in this country if Bwaka were to become president and something happens to him. So let's spare ourselves unnecessary calamity. Jawia remain in power. When he mess up, we will know that he don't want a president. We'll blame him. But not somebody who we know will not be in charge. Gentlemen.
Thank you. If I just may end my question, please. Look, I'm listening, and I think the entire country is listening right now. But and I was talking about this adage about politicians being actors and putting on the script to act for folks, right? And you're raising some great point. We have expressed these concerns. I think from the get-go when I mentioned about when the Jeremiah Cohn name came up, I said I will pick a Henry Costa with many reservations over Jeremiah Cohn and the close proximity to the executive mansion of Prince Johnson, because Prince Johnson literally handpicked Jeremiah Cohn, right? And the decision making of Joseph Boakai, for me, has always been a major concern. And you talked about this divide. There were divisive statement that came from the noses of the former vice president, and he did not say anything about it. In fact, I'm not going to call no names. Not only are we talking about Congo people in this divide, there have been qualified Liberians who were not perhaps Christians, were Muslims, who were rejected not on the basis of what they brought to the table, but on the basis of their religion. And so we've known these things for a very, very long time. And we all know that this Jeremiah Cohn and Prince Johnson, close proximity to Joseph Boakai, is not only a major concern for Liberia, but the international community. And you touch on all of these things. But Heron, I want you to speak to the nation, right? I want you to speak to the nation. This is an opportunity, and I think you started doing that. There are those out there who they're just tired of the nonsense. They're tired of they don't know exactly who to trust, right? We see what happened to comments, and you just said something very, very, very profound, which is, we knew the truth and did not speak up. And you talked about political expediency, right? But I want you to speak to those independent voters, those folks who don't care about Unity Party and this whole fanatic supporters. They don't care about George Weah and CDC. They want to see a better Liberia, and they understand that to see a better Liberia, one, we must unite. Two, we must elect the right people. And three, the people who have access to the platform, voices, must be able to speak up in the interest of their country and not themselves, in the interest of what's right and not just what political expediency is, right? So I want you to tell the Liberian people and those who might have this question, why now? Why is it important now that you speak up? Why is it important now that you speak up, but not just that, but speak up and speak up truthfully? Why is it important now? Where are we as a country that it's important now for you to speak up? And how do we move forward, right? How do we move forward? Look, a lot of people will not believe you, regardless. That's their business. I don't take the Unity Party words for it, because a lot of these guys believed you when they use you against Alice Cummings and others. They believed you. They didn't care what you said. They didn't care to vet what you said. Look, so I'm not worried about them. But I want you to speak to those independent voters, those folks who don't really care about anything, but they still respect you. They still know that this guy has a role to play in our democracy. They still know that this guy is a very young, energetic guy who has a very important role. What do you say to them when they question, Heron Costa, why now?
Robert, that's a good question. The first round of the elections, guys, you all know I decided to stay quiet. I decided I would not be picking a side. I would not be campaigning for a side. I would not be endorsing a side. I was interviewed on this show very briefly, and I said I was going to be voting for Councilor, and I did vote for Councilor Gongro. After the first round, a few days later, I packed my bags, I left this country, and I went back to the US. I was hoping, Robert, like many Liberians, the election, however, be it very unlikely that the election would be culminated in a one-round decision. I was hoping for that. I was hoping there would not be a runoff. However imminent that possibility was. However, when it went to a runoff, then the serious issues came into sharper focus for me. People started talking to me. Costa, you cannot be inactive. I even went on Facebook and did a look polling, because by then I was being engaged. So I wanted to solicit people's views, whether I should come out of my hiatus and return to the arena. And lots of people said, you should, whichever side you support, but we think we need to hear your voice. And after much consideration, and our party, All Liberian Party, we decided that we were going to get involved. And I'm a very full-fledged, committed member of that party. And so we decided that we were going to get involved. That's why I packed my bags and I came right back to this country, Robert, because I didn't want to stay in America and be talking. I wanted to be on the ground. I thought people should hear it. Those who don't want to believe it as a business. But they seen people saw Boakai. They used to say Boakai living with me in America, right? They used to see me driving Boakai around. They used to see me cooking for Boakai. They used to see me flying Boakai to America back and forth. They say when a crab or whatever comes from under the water and tells you that something there is happening, you better believe it, because it's from there. You are not from there. I was very close with Boakai, and I really thought he was a good man until he showed us that he's not a good man. Not only that, until he wanted to recklessly endanger this country's interests and security by being sick and refusing to get the help he needs and asking people to vote for him so that he can turn the country over to Jeremiah Cohen and Prince Johnson. And I felt I had to speak up. And I knew people would cuss me. Listen, Robert, listen to me. I knew people would cuss me. It doesn't do anything to me. It doesn't. For years, my skin has grown impenetrable. They cannot, nothing they say pierces me. All the insults, nothing bothers me. I speak the truth. That's who I am. I've cultivated this tendency for years, over a decade. So they can say all they want, but there are lots and lots of people whose minds will be swayed, especially those who did not vote for Bwaka or we are in the first round. These are the people to whom I'm speaking. Those people, Robert, that you mentioned, people who voted for Alex Cummings. If you want Mr. Cummings to be able to return to the political arena, if he wishes to, which is his right, which when these realities that we currently have are removed, his chances will be significantly better. Then your best shot is to vote for Weah for 6 years to leave after 6 years. So that your guy, if you want Gonglo to have a shot at 2029, your best bet is to keep Weah in so that he leaves after 2029. If you want Clarence Moningba to have a shot at the presidency in 2029, your best shot is to keep Weah in so that he leaves, rather than having Joe Brugger come in with his calamity train to wreck this country and then take power and refuse to give it up. And whichever person you aspire to see ascend to that office might never have a shot to do that. That is your individual investment. Your investment in the future prospect of someone you desire to see vie for the presidency and possibly win it.
Henry, I want to ask you a question. No, Tommy, I gotta run. I beg you, I gotta run. I beg you.
You miss that. They will for the flower for you.
No, I gotta run. I beg you. But let me ask this question, and it's important. Let me say this, Tommy, don't put my security in jeopardy.
Oh man, Ben, stop, man. You hold chairman, man.
Come on, man. Ben, you doing this thing?
You hold chairman.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Costa, I want to talk about the. You said something in one of the podcasts you did, right? There is this notion out there that anybody who don't support Joe Buckeye, they're unpatriotic. There is this sense of arrogance out there, right? That just by you even considering or thinking about supporting President Weah, it means you don't love Liberia.
Great question.
Well, clearly the numbers don't show that. The numbers don't show that, right? One, with all of what all of us did at one point in the opposition, right? George Weah has proven that he proved to weather whatever storm that was thrown his way. By the way, you said it on your podcast, he got more votes than Joseph Boyka in the election. So if the elections were a simple majority, George Weah is already re-elected. So what do you say to, because they're still our friends and brothers, whether we like it or not. And I believe for some reason, this passion that is all within them about this Joe Boyka thing, it will all come to calm down after this election, right? What do you think breeds this sense of arrogance? This notion that how dare you consider not voting for Joe Boyka? How dare you consider voting for George Weah? What do you think this thing come from? I mean, you were an insider within the camp. Is it like a cult thing that is? I mean, is it like I'm trying to understand, because it seems like there is a one-line message, right? You vote for Joe Boyka, you love the country, you got to think. I mean, I was listening to somebody the other day, and they said, you got to put the country first. So the 800,000+ people that voted for George Weah, they don't love their country? Is that what you were trying to imply here? Can you talk about that for me, please? And talk about this sense of arrogance and where did it come from? Especially for a party that was in power for 12 years.
Well, the 800,000 plus people that voted for George Weah, securing him the first place or the winner of the first round of the election, they are not Liberians. They are from Guinea. They are Guineans.
I mean, yeah, you know.
But the border was
Yeah, now-
closed. So the border was
So,
closed. So,
yeah.
how did they enter?
Well, I don't know how George Weah got into the country, but they are all Guineans. The 796,000 for Joe Boakai, they are from Lofa and Nimba. They are Liberians. Look, this is where the elitist and entitlement mindset comes in. Joseph Boakai, with a one pitiful bachelor's degree, believes somehow that because he's been around the corridor of government forever,
When the bachelor,
the one he got from LU.
oh wow.
He believes that somehow even though he is a deeply hateful and prejudiced man, he himself has an elitist mindset. He believes that the presidency should be given to someone such as himself and not to a George Weah. You see that? And so this is where, and they cultivated that mindset apparently, or they cultivated that narrative after I left, because I know he's a preach that when you love Joe Boakai, you vote Joe Boakai, then
yeah, I can bear witness because even me, yeah, I can bear witness. Yeah.
I was their trumpeter, and I never preached that. But it came after I left. And so somehow they developed this sheep mindset and sheep mentality where they all fall in line. And if you don't vote for Joe Boakai, then you don't love them. Take my cousin. I have a cousin. I will not call his name. My cousin never liked Joe Boakai, but he's friends with Jake. They smoke cigars together, they chill, and all of that. My cousin never liked Joe Boakai at all. He used to always question why I support Joe Boakai. I mean, why you wasn't your man time when that man calls? But today my cousin is on Facebook attacking me because he not told me 1 million times to go back to Joe Boakai. I said no. He's attacking me, but you know why he's attacking me? My cousin only supports Joe Boakai now because Jake is his buddy, and he believes that when Joe Boakai wins, they will be able to bring their business deals and make money. That's my cousin's reasons for supporting Joe Boakai. It's not because he wants the country to change. You see that? So many people you see, heralding that very skewed and condescending mentality or mindset or thinking. They are doing so because they think they can get the people worked up like that. It's chauvinism. It's a chauvinistic mindset. The people who voted for Weah are Liberians. In fact, if anything, I want to go on the side where more Liberians are. Joe Weah got more Liberian votes than Joe Boakai did. So if anything, if I doing many money more, I will fall down to the side where more Liberians are than the side where less Liberians are. So, and I want to say to Joe Boakai people, Joseph Boakai will lose the election, and when he does, he can wait to run again in 2029 when he's 86 years old. And they will struggle to pay their rent. Let me tell you a couple of things that will happen. Chain reaction. Boakai loses, UP disintegrates, their rent is due in May. They're not going to be able to pay the rent. They couldn't pay it a couple of years ago. I had to step in and I had to help. They're going to get evicted. They're going to be a party with all headquarters. Joe Boakai is going to be forced into retirement and obscurity where he belongs. And then Unity Party is not going to have a leader. They're going to be scrambling to find a leader, and they will naturally die. And with them, that arrogant, conceited, and entitlement mentality that they are Liberia. Joseph Liberia Boakai, that's his middle name. When they born in Wasonga, they say Liberia, that your country. Anybody wanna let you, they not let Liberia. That arrogance, that mindset, we rebuke it, we reject it, we debunk it, and we will obliterate it and will retire Joseph Boakai in his birth month. His 79th birthday, maybe that a football age or a political age, I don't know what he plays soccer, but every year he stay on 80. But they say he's 79 now this year. So we will retire him at 80, and Jawia will stay there and will hold Jawia feet to the fire to do
Yeah.
right by the Liberian.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one I can tell
Okay,
you.
yeah.
Will hold his feet.
Okay, let me come in, guys. You
Yeah,
guys.
no, let me ask my question, right? Okay, Kevin, I'm asking a question.
Well,
Hey,
Costa,
man, somebody Kev get some breaking news right there.
Well, let me get listen, Tomalin. Let me ask a question. Listen, Costa, again, welcome to the closing argument, and welcome on board. Well,
Thank you, my brother.
Wow,
yeah.
Kevin Costa on the scene, sir.
Let me say this. I
They
was
say
driving.
politics makes bedfellows.
Strange vessel.
Exactly.
Who would have thought?
I know.
I was driving. You were talking about, I don't want to take you guys back, but you talk about his health. You talk about the pacemaker, because I remember when I spoke about the pacemaker, Mo Ali and Amin Moda came on Spoon. You guys were there. They came on my former network. They said I was lying. When the president paid for Joe Boca to insert the pacemaker, you see, we don't want to do this. We're going to do this today. We're going to show the picture of Joe Buckeye.
Zoom it, yeah, Baga laying on there.
Yeah, he there. This was fully
Yeah, Rhode
paid
Island.
by the president. Fully paid. Yeah, Joe Buckeye there. Get the next one. You see it? I want to zoom it, Lofa, so people can see it. So people can see it. Of course, I want you to speak on it. This pacemaker thing that the president paid for. Take care of this man. Okay. That's the picture there. I want you to speak on it. Lofa, can you make it big? I want people to see it.
Just zoom that one. You will recognize it.
Yeah, zoom this one so they can see it. No, but because maybe we'll talk, people will say that lie. You explain it. Dude, the picture I was sent to project is what is here. It is Joseph Boykai. There's no question about it. People have to question it. It's what is here. That's Joseph Boykai in that chair right there. No question about it. I would try to zoom it though. I'm working on it in the back. Yeah,
What
you sent me is what I'm projecting. Yeah. So Costa, speak on this on this picture. The pacemaker, it was paid by George Manawia to help him.
Okay. Well, when in 2018, I was not close with him then. I had not started really politically canvassing for him then. He had an episode with his heart. He had a heart condition. And the president got involved. And the president instructed Mr. Joseph Ty Williams, an official in this government, to rush Mr. Boakai to the US. They took Mr. Boakai to a hospital in Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island. And that pacemaker, and they did a lot of tests, examinations on Boakai's heart, and they realized that his heart the heartbeat was irregular. It needed to be supported by a pacemaker. What a pacemaker does, folks. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical practitioner, but a little I know about it. And Joe Boakai is who aroused my curiosity. There are people who are living with pacemaker and they're healthy, just so you know. But a pacemaker is like, you remember like a $25 coin or 20, like a quarter, like a US quarter. It's just about the thickness of 2 quarters. And then it has 2 cables on it. And it is connected to a certain part. It's installed right under your collarbone, that flat little thing. And then the cable runs down there. It's got batteries in it. And that's why Liberian people call it battery, because it's got batteries in it. It relies on those batteries to function. And so what it does is that when the pacemaker operates in such a way that if it finds out, or if it realizes that your heartbeat is dropping, the pacemaker then sends electrical shocks it sends electrical shock to your heart to like serve as a defibrillator to help kickstart it. It's installed in people's whose hearts are not strong enough to beat wholly and effectively by itself. That is what happens. So that's what Mr. Walker has. But that pacemaker has been serving him well, and he has been living on it well, and people can live on it for many, many years, just so you know. But yes, it was the president who paid for that. He, Mr. Walker himself, told me that that surgery without insurance, because Mr. Walker does not have health insurance in the U.S., it cost over 100,000 United States dollars. It was the president that paid for that, and it was never announced. Joseph Tower Williams accompanied Mr. Boakai to the U.S. to Providence, Rhode Island, where that device was installed. Yeah, that is what happened.
Okay. Yeah, Costa, look.
Tommy, I'm sorry, but I think we'll have to little stick on this one for a little bit, if you don't mind. And Costa, you're absolutely right, because Percy Yeke was the one who called the president and said, "Hey, look, Joe Boakai is in a bad state. He needs help." And the president instructed folks immediately. And you're absolutely correct. Joseph, the one that traveled with him to help him at that moment. But the question I want to ask you, Costa, he went on the show, I think about 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, being ungrateful to this president, and you should know what and his ungrateful behavior towards you. He being ungrateful to the president, and he said, "Oh, it's not him; it's the government money." But the call was placed to the president. Immediately, the president took him out of this country, out of Liberia. I want you to speak on his ungratefulness. How Joe Boakai is so ungrateful. I want you to speak on that, because this is his life. Basically, the president saved his life. Basically, and I will say this. I don't want to bring it, but he's a former partisan of me. Y'all remember Chris Monselli? He had a heart defect, similar to like this. He was waiting to get a pacemaker. He's not with us no more. But this president saved his life. And
that's
how ungrateful. Speak on the ungratefulness.
Well, I will tell you this. This is where I've been trying to understand where Mr. Boakai's inherent and patent ingratitude stems from. I think I've solved the puzzle. It comes from his sense of entitlement. Boakai believes that the world owes him something, that the world exists to serve his every need and want. Therefore, when you do, he has this false sense of, he has this sense of religiosity. He's a devoutly faithful man in God. When you do good for him, it is not you he owes for the good you did for him. He believes that God used you to do that good. Therefore, it is not you who deserve the credit. It is God. I saw that also one day. And here is how I saw it.
That's very interesting. Right, yeah.
We were in the car one day, and he said to me, "Henry," he used to call me my God-sent nephew. God-sent. That's how he used to call me. He said, "Henry," but I used to think it's a good thing when he said God-sent. But you see, his interpretation is because God sent me to do an assignment, like God sent the prophet Samuel to go to the household of, who was David's father, Jesse? Or who? Jesse, right?
Yeah, Jesse.
And go and seek out his son and anoint him king. So even though it was Samuel that anointed David and say you will be king according to God's command, So David was not indebted in any way whatsoever to Samuel because it was God who sent Samuel. So when Bwaka says you are God sent, he does not owe you. It is your sender, God, that he owes. So when you do something for Joe Bwakai, Bwakai thinks that God loves him more than he loves you or anybody else, which is why he sends you to go and serve that particular need or fulfill that particular need that he has at that moment. Therefore, the gratitude belongs to God. It does not belong to you. That's Joe Bwakai's mindset. And this is how I got to know. He said one day we were driving in Delaware, somewhere. He said, Henry, let me tell you how I know God has been more present in my life than any other period in my life. Not even when I was vice president for 12 years. It was profound. And listen to this. He said, when I was vice president, everything was all right. Everything was in place. It was there. So sometimes when God supplies your needs, you tend to forget that God did those things because you are overwhelmed by, the provisions that God gives you, right? So you don't quite fully appreciate what God did for you. But you say, Henry, because at this point in time of my life, where I served as vice president for 12 years, and things got so hard on me that I didn't even have money to take care of myself. You had to come. Ben and I, all of you come to help me to take care of me. I believe God is more present in my life today now than he has ever been in my life. Because it is at your lowest ebb in life when God sends people along to lift you up as we did for him and materially provide for him. He believes that that's when God is more present in your life than ever before. Therefore, we are merely mortal messengers of God assigned to fulfill a need of Bwaka until he needs us no further. So therefore, Bwaka does not owe us anything. He only owes God. Let me tell you something. One day in October 2020, I had called Mr. Bwaka. He was home that day. And he started complaining about electricity. I have all the evidence here. And he said the transformer in the community, the neighborhood transformer had blown up. And so he was without light. And so he had to be running his diesel generator. And the daily cost of operation was $50. And for him, that was a lot of money. I was shocked. This man was just vice president. This is 2020.
Wait,
just 2 years.
You said $50
per day to buy fuel to run the generator because the LEC was off because the transformer had blown up. So he said, Henry, that's what happened to you. I said, so let me ask you a question. If I could get you a dedicated transformer and have it installed in your yard with a light pole, it comes to the light pole, the electrical wire, everything, they come and install it. Would you no longer have to rely on the community transformer that blows up all the time? He said, no. I got him the transformer. When I got him the transformer, Joseph Bwaka sent me a message. It cost me $2,500. I got the transformer. And he sent me a message again, telling God thank you and telling me thank you for the transformer being installed. And the transformer was installed. And this is it right here. I'm sending you the message where you see when the transformer was installed. And Joseph Bwaka was telling me, thank you for the transformer being installed. So the transformer that in Joseph Bwaka yard right now was bought and paid for with money that I raised, $2,500. Ben Sanvee, I'm going to send this to you right now. And y'all put it up so everybody can see him telling me thank you when the transformer was installed, when he got the transformer. I just sent it to you. You see the price.
But send it to Lofa, he would put it on.
So you will see that. 2,500 US. This was as far back as 2020. Yeah. And that's how things were so bad on Joseph Boakai. Things were so bad. Things were so bad.
Costa, quickly, let me ask this question, right? I know we got about 18 more minutes. Let me ask the question quickly. Look, I see you got about 5. There's the man who people saying he's insignificant, but he got Facebook shut down tonight. People, everybody on the show, I see it. Well,
Locked down. He locked it down.
Not fake numbers, not paid numbers. Real human being watching this show. 5,000 plus watching. I see the Hurricane of the Unity Party are all watching. I see them. But Costa, I know they were attacking.
The purchase. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the attack in the back. I got that.
You have thick skin, and I know tomorrow they will have all that. They go on the platform, do all that stuff, but you have thick skin. But what will be the message? That winning message that you're going to carry now on the campaign trail, because the campaign is in full swing. What will be that winning message that will seal the deal and making that compelling and convincing case for President Weah re-election? What will be that message you're going to take on the campaign trail?
The dangers, clear and present danger posed by Prince Johnson and Jeremiah Kun in the executive mansion. Because a vote for Joe Boakai is a vote. Prince Johnson said it himself. The man old and sick. We will be running the country. That is for me and what should be for the Liberian people something that they should not vote for Joe Boakai. If you voted for him in the first round, reconsider your vote. He's not going to be able to be president. His health will not allow him. His age will not allow him. That's it. It is not personal. It has nothing to do with what he did to us. Me and the Ures, it's not personal. For us, it's about the country. That's why the first round we were quiet. We wanted to be quiet. But now, knowing that he's in that position, we have to say what we know. And what we know is that he's not going to be capable to serve as president of the country.
Costa, let me ask you this. You know, Prince Johnson, right? Prince Johnson himself called Boakai ungrateful. Why is this change that he decided to flip that way and flip back? You know, but he himself on record. How will you time Prince Johnson in this? Because he himself all around calling him how he ungrateful, he's old, he's sick. Is Prince Johnson manipulating the entire Unity Party in order for him to be at the top?
Well, Prince Johnson picked. Let me tell you something, guys. Joseph Boakai returned from the States the last time he was there with us. He returned on the 14th of February. On the 16th, his nephew, Jacob Kabakoli, had taken some money from Jeremiah Kun and fixed a meeting with Prince Johnson and Joe Boakai. When that meeting took place, they came to me asking me to post the pictures. I was never happy with the Prince Johnson thing. This is something I never said publicly about why I did what I did, which I'm about to say. They sent me a picture. Man, we need you to post the picture.
Costa, not to interrupt you, just quickly, just for confirmation. I just need to know this. Is the network consenting to me displaying some of the information that are being provided to me to the general public? I just want to know, is this okay?
Yeah.
Because I will base, I'm just being instructed to display it, and I will do as instructed. Am I being authorized to do this?
Yeah, just put it back.
Mama, you have a lawyer here, man. You are instructed. Go ahead.
I'm just clarifying. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anybody wants to the network will go make representation.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, there's some dirty information that's all. Okay. Go on.
Well, don't put all the one out. Just put the one that talk about the transformer and the price of it.
Okay. All right.
So while you are talking, so when he and Prince Johnson met, I posted that picture. I got a WhatsApp message from a very powerful diplomatic mission. expressing their disapproval of my posting of that picture with Boakai and Prince Johnson, I immediately took the post down. People are wondering, well, why did I take the post down? Because of that WhatsApp message from that very powerful diplomatic mission near Monrovia. They didn't like the meeting happening. They didn't like the fact that you people were running with it, that Prince Johnson was there. You know, they didn't like it. They still don't like it now. So it was because Prince Johnson was pulling the strings. And Prince Johnson and Joe Boakai had entered into an unholy marriage. That if you pick my puppet, Jeremiah Kuhn, I will help deliver Nimba to you. That's the deal. That is the deal.
You know, I want to come in here very quickly, and I don't have a question to ask, because at least we know for a fact that Henry Costa is testifying truthfully. Everything you say, Henry, I know they have origin in truth, because I can relate to some of the facts being narrated. For example, that Boakai is a political desperado. He's not demonstrating any statesmanship by dancing with all the devils in his desperate desire for the presidency is an obvious truth, right? That Boakai ate some of the money you sent to him is true, because he even took $10,000 from operatives of the government to falsely testify against Brother Cummings in that court. 10,000 we know. That Boakai doesn't have any rare land, you know. It's true. Today he's in league with Stanton Witherspoon, another self-confessed U.S. criminal, which is, you know, an offense to the American government. So there are too many things here. But, you know, what I like to say is that your presence here and your conduct says something about the new Liberia. All of us who now saying that President Weah is better, because if you were to vote in favor of Boakai, you will enable him to unleash the deep-seated grudges that he has harbored over the years on the country. You know, you said something when you met with President Weah. What you said to me, or what you just said to the public, it resonates even in the Bible. Because the Bible teaches us that God is the God of second chance. You say, when you met with President Weah, you saw a new President Weah. A new man with a new language. You're willing to listen. That's why God doesn't just cancel people. Gave him a second chance so he can make amends, so he can improve upon some of the things that he might have made a mistake about. So, you see, it's because that, you know, what I think the Unity Party people and every intelligent person listening to us should pick up upon tonight, the take-home point for me is when you work anywhere and everywhere in this world and you're going to seek for a new opportunity, the references are always from your old working place. Don't overlook that. Even in America, if you did a sweeping job here and you leave in that sweeping job to go to another job, they will ask questions to your previous working place. Today we are discussing Boakai, the person who handpicked Boakai to be vice president, that the world got to know. It's not even endorsing the man. What does it say, Brother Costa? Every intelligent person out there should know that there is something about this man. That the player he worked before, that the boss leader he worked with yesterday is not optimistic about him heading our country. It speaks volume. Liberian people, if there is anybody who knows Boakai more than any of us, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf knows him very well. If Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who I know, who I disagree with and brought me in government, and even when I was going through my situation in London, we fly to London, sent for me. She sent her daughter-in-law, Martha Sirleaf, to call me to see me. If Ellen Johnson Sirleaf cannot get a vote of endorsement to Boakai, Liberian people, beware that Bouaka is a dangerous man. His heart is dark, and Ellie knows that. Because Ellie is a decent woman. Say what you like to say about Ellie. When you work with Ellie, she's a loyalist person. When I even got sick in Liberia, I was in the hospital, Ellie drove to the hospital. It saw me. Even though I previously criticized her before I came in her government. Bouaka, she worked with Bouaka for 12 consecutive years. He is unenthusiastic about this man. He says a whole lot. Listen to us. For some of us, we are picking upon circumstantial evidence. He bear grudge against James Colley's father. James Colley and Bouaka had disagreement when James Colley was 6 years old. James Colley became Minister of Finance. They had a professional disagreement. Bouaka called James Colley and reminded him about a minor disagreement his late father had with Mr. Bouaka. Imagine, Bouaka is expecting James Colley to pay for the sin of his father in a grave. Bouaka showing enmity to the dead. No civilized person does that. And asking an innocent child to pay for the sin, to atone for the sin of his father. Bouaka is an unforgiving man. The Bible says people who cannot forgive God, stay clear of them. Nelson Mandela is a celebrated world leader because of a heart to forgive. He forgave the apartheid guys, the prisoner. Bouaka today cannot forgive. He carries grudge in his heart.
It's very important.
So, Brother Costa, I believe your testimony. You can join in here, but I think that Madam Sally is not endorsing this man. Should send a signal to all of us that there's something about this man that is dangerous for the country.
Costa, there you go. Why you add it, Costa? I want you to include this.
See the date.
Yeah, put the date on.
No, the date is there. You can see it.
Yeah, okay. So why you add it? I want you to include this and on this picture. I want to ask you this: why you guys postpone the second surgery? Because
we don't have time for that today, Kev. We got to close up. I got to go.
You can touch on it quick. Touch on it quick. Why you doing this? Because he's in Ghana now for a booster. So that's why I want you to touch.
Why you got a booster? Why you got a booster?
He's in Ghana now for his booster. So I just want you to touch on that. Why you did, we'll come to that because you guys postpone the surgery because we know if he had that surgery, he will wait for at least 6 months. So he risking himself because I know that. That's my era. That's my era. So I know that. So let's touch on that quick. Why you on this picture?
Oh no, I mean, guys,
we want to see more of the message, not so much of the picture.
Well, I just got I know Costa got several international interview lined up in the next few days. So he had to go and he had to have a long day today. So because of that, he has a rest. Costa, you have just give your closing, your parting comments for today. You have done well. You need to rest. I know the BBC, VOA, all knocking your doors now. So so just give your parting comments.
Thank you for the opportunity to bring me on here to speak with you all. And thanks for what you guys do. It's much appreciated by those who mean well and those who care about the country. The decision our party has made to stand with the president was not one that we had decided long ago to do. It's new. It's informed by the realities that confront us as a country. And we cannot let Bouaka come to power. It's going to be dangerous for the country. So we cannot do that. And I just want to say that in the coming days and weeks, on Sunday, the ALP will officially be declaring declaring support for and endorsing President Weah for his second term. And that's a decision we've made as a party. So I want to say thank you so much, guys, and I wish you all a pleasant evening.
So you want us to take this down? Then we'll talk about it some other day. You want to run on this?
Yeah. You can take it down. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Costa. Thank you, brother. Thank you,
man. Thank you. Be safe, brother. Be safe. Be safe.
The water picture.
I'm gonna do my closing quickly.
Okay. Yeah.
So I can go and get on this private jet.
Private jet.
brother.
I got internet strong today.
Listen, we need to. Look, a couple of things are going to happen in the next couple of days. A lot of movements, a lot of alignment and realignment are going to happen. This is about the soul of our country. This is about saving our country. This is about avoiding a wreckage. This is about us looking ourselves in the eyes and saying that as imperfect as we are, we all still care for our country. Those in the Unity Party who wants to see Vice President Joe Boyka becomes president, it is your right, but I'll be very clear with you. It is a catastrophe and a wreckage that is in the making. I have consistently said it over and over on this platform. I have not seen any leadership ability whatsoever in the former vice president. I like the old man, but being president, I don't think is something that he can do. He can't. It's not possible. And so as we listen to Costa endorsement, I want to reiterate what I said earlier, that it is testimony of the magnanimity of George Weah. Because I believe that when you criticize someone and you do it in good faith, and the person listens to that criticism and is still able to extend a hand to you, especially a president, it speaks volume. It speaks volume of the kind of person that he is. And I will continue to say that at the end of the day, this is a battle about the past and the future of our country. We will not settle for a national security collusion course. We will not do it. We owe it to that country, and that country deserves better. And so I will end on this note. Looking forward to the next week. It's going to be an exciting week, very, very exciting week. And we are going to see a lot of decisions being made. And then we will go to the polls. And we'll go to the polls.
And making a decision too?
And make the decision. Yeah. But it was great being on, guys. I gotta run.
Guys, thank you, man. Chairman, be safe and
safe flight, brother.
Guys, we want to transfer.
Somebody say I wear blue already. What it mean? I wear blue already. Anyway, it's okay.
That means
the blue wave.
Who cares?
Blue is a beautiful color. It's a beautiful color. Yeah, the audacity of hope. You know,
who cares your flag now?
Man, go enjoy your flag.
Guys, 30 seconds, just wrap up in 30 seconds so we can leave. Everybody got 30 seconds. At least we'll continue tomorrow. 30 seconds. We got a lineup start. People come in. We have this going for the next 15 days. We'll be on it. And we'll make it. The argument will be closed. We'll close the argument here. From now to more 12, we'll close the argument. So, guys, let's wrap it up 30 seconds.
I can close up, man.
Go ahead, Isaac.
But again, I think, like Ben said, and maybe I will take another line. Boyka is a disaster waiting to happen. Liberian people, please don't allow this disaster upon our country. The man's health is falling apart. Costa was right to have said that this man has one dry BSc. We can't turn our country upside down to a papi who got blamado degree. All that it confirms is that Boyka is a mediocre man. Everybody in Boyka's parish who are active in politics all got PhD. Dr. Topana Tipote, PhD.
Oh, man, some of us only
Professor
got
Dr. Amos
bachelor.
Claudius Sawyer, PhD. Dr. Gabriel McIntosh, PhD. S. Barronta, PhD. Everybody in Boaka's peer, his contemporary, all get PhD. He get only one BSc. We can't rely on a dry, blamado BSc to run our country. He is an uninspiring man, and he should not lead our country. All the young people in our country who are who are yearning for a better Liberia, stay with George Weah. He will stir the coast. He's now reconciling with political opponents, and that's the right way to go. I think he's on the track for the Nobel Peace Prize if he were to win again and make sure that Prince Johnson and Butt Naked account for the crimes they committed in our country. Thank you, and it was good having me tonight. Thank you, gentlemen.
Let me go next.
Anthony Isaac Jackson Jr.
Isaac,
Thank you,
Isaac
Isaac.
is
Thank you,
funny,
Jack.
but let me go next. Look, I thought it was an amazing show. Everyone is watching, but I feel good because we have been consistent. I have consistently said that if these elections, and Tomalin, you can bear witness to that, and many who are watching, if these elections were about real change, then I said the opposition had a choice to make. And whatever choice the opposition makes will determine whether or not CDC remains in office. And the opposition made their choice. If these elections were about real change, then Unity Party was not an alternative to CDC. If these elections were about the past as opposed to the future of our country, then Joseph Boakai, a career politician, with not much to show for, and Unity Party, who had the most international support post-war Liberia, with all of these major issues that still exist: education reform, infrastructure development, job creation, private sector job growth. I mean, all of these major issues. If these elections were about real change, then the opposition had a choice to make. And sadly, the opposition made their choice. And that choice, I believe, does not represent what Liberia so desired. And so, they've made their bed and they've got to lay in it. They've burned bridges. They've insulted people. And Herring was on this platform. The very people who are now questioning Herring Costa, questioning his integrity, are in bed with some serious character flaw people. These very people want us to believe now that they are more patriot than others. These very people are in bed with killers, murderers. They are in bed with people who help government positions with not a single result, no impact in areas they serve. These very people now wants us to believe otherwise. But the Liberian people will have to decide. And I've been very clear. I cannot with good conscience. I can never say what you want to say about me, but I could have never, with good conscience, support Joseph Boakai if these elections were about all of the key issues that are dear to our hearts. And so we are in a runoff, and this is about our country. I like the fact that our democracy is being tested. We had a very smooth first round, and the fact that George Weah performed the way he performed, even if you assume that people are not happy with him, he is going into the runoff with the momentum. And this is as a result of the choice the opposition made. The opposition, I believe, made the most terrible choice. They made a bad mistake. And this is where we find ourselves right now. So look, it's a great show. I look forward to the closing argument. Many of you have been asking, what happened to the closing argument? Well, guess what? There you have it. This is the closing argument, and we are back.
We are back.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Julius Lofa.
Let me first and foremost start off with the welcome statement for the closing argument. I have been, even though I only been on here for 3 days, 4 days, or whatever, but I've been reached out to people inquiring, hey, what happened? The closing argument is not going to come on no more. I inboxed Keff Hassan and I said, you have refused to give to the people what is, constitutionally theirs. And I think what we should do independently to provide options as to where, when, how, and where decisions are made. So I'm grateful to be on here tonight. But before I, land on my statement, let me just say this: the Emma Sheriff, special shout out to you, Emma. Definitely a strong supporter of the platform. It's mandatory upon my part to send a shout out to her. So Emma, shout out to you. But let me close up on this note. There are a few things that we heard tonight, and I want Liberian to take note of these things. Please, Liberians, as you walk to the booth to cast your vote, I want you to think about everything you heard here tonight. I'm not saying everything you heard are accurate. They're not. I'm not saying they're correct, but I'm saying to you, tax yourselves with the responsibility to investigate, obtain the needed information to get some factual, just factual information as to how you make decisions. There were times when we disclosed to you informations that were important to decision making in our Liberian community. We were labeled as whatever it is, but we are at a very crucial moment. I am not going to sit here today and say to you, everything you heard here are false, neither am I going to say they're truth. But Henry Costa, based on the person that you know him for, I say to you, Liberians, do your research, do your analysis, do your investigation, and make the rational decision in the best interest of Liberia. You, the people, it's not about those of us in the diaspora. We have jobs. We have opportunity to healthcare. The system works for us. But what about the people in Liberia? Can we make rational decisions in the interest of the generation to come after us? Why are we so about ourselves as compared to the people who will come after us? Are we creating the enabling environment for the generation who are to serve as our next leaders? Because remember, as it is said, you're born as a baby and you end as a baby. Because the older you grow, mentally, psychologically, and physically, you become a baby. Think for yourselves, think about Liberia, and think about the people. Costa, I appreciate all of the revelations that have been made here tonight. Liberians will make their own decision based on what they know about Henry Costa and what they know about Liberia. And those of us on here, based on our integrity, based on our consistency, based on what we believe in. Liberians, Liberia is all we have. Let us fight in the best interest of Liberia. I would not stand on here, neither would I sit here and say to you that I endorse, neither would I endorse the presidency of President George Weah or Honorable Joseph Newman Boyka, God forbid. But I'm saying to you, in the best interest of Liberia, look around those who are seeking the presidency. The likes of a Eugene Fangon, who is inconsistent in everything that he says and everything that he actually participates in. Look at individuals who referred to Honorable Boykai yesterday as the individual Honorable Boykai, who is old in his, speaking of his age. Liberians, I'm asking you, this is the year of transformation. We must move Liberia forward. I am not in any way, shape, or form endorsing the candidacy of Honorable Joseph Numa Boycott, neither am I endorsing the candidacy of President George Weah. But I'm saying to you, if we are to pick among the two, which one of the two is in your best interest? Which one of the two can unite all of us Liberians? If you are to sit and listen to Liberians, those in the Unity Party, I'm sorry to say this, guys. I apologize. Give me 30 seconds. I just want to say this. The Unity Party folks appear to be more divisive than you can ever imagine. Unity Party is one of the most divisive political party that I've ever encountered in my lifetime
participating in Liberia politics. It is so disheartening. A party that my mother is a part of. A party that my mother cried on my shoulder about. She is so passionate about supporting the Unity Party. This political party is one of the most divisive political parties that I have ever heard of or encountered in Liberia. We have endured and we have gone through everything that you can imagine. I don't think the Unity Party is that party to transform Liberia. But I am not the man to make the decision for you. Now am I the guy to push you. I maintain my neutrality. And I say to you, may the best team win. But based on what I have seen and heard, Liberians are not in the interest of change at this moment. The fact that President George Manawia came even a vote over anybody else in the race, that tells me Liberians are comfortable with where they find themselves and they will maintain what they have until that opportunity is provided to them for an actual and real change, not an actual chance that some of our brothers and sisters from the diaspora are seeking. Thanks to all of you guys for being a part of the conversation tonight. It was a wonderful conversation. I learned a lot and I will continue to follow and be a part of the conversation. But I'm going to say to you tonight, I don't think Liberians are ready for any change other than what they have tonight. So let us deal with what we have and let us continue to fight for a better Liberia. And I support the idea of moving Liberia forward. I think there are better days ahead. But right now, we must deal with what we have. Thank you.
Okay. Let me say this.
God, we gotta go now. Time.
Yeah, let me say it quick, Dr. Peabody. Let's speak to the Liberian people. A few years ago, the president came from the UN, and he spoke about the Palaba hostile Liberian need to come together. The president sent a communication to the lawmakers about this war crime code. The Unity Party, headed by Joseph Yuma Buckeye and DeLon and others, they beat on this president for war crime code. They protested. They did everything. People took names. They took names to congressmen for war crime code. The Unity Party did everything, home and abroad, all over the world. But today, they have Prince Johnson. Can the Unity Party, headed by Joseph Yuma Buckeye, Lofa, Robert, you guys spoke on war crime code. You guys know, including my brother Tomalin George, Dr. Peabody. Today, they have Prince Johnson. Can this stand up and call for war crime code? I am challenging the Unity Party, Joe Buckeye, to stand up and say we want war crime code. Because they beat on war crime code.
Yeah, right.
They did everything. Oh, there's noise in the back. Somebody talking.
Tell Isaac to mute himself.
Yeah. You know, they spoke on war crime code. Isaac, you guys know they beat on this president. After this president sent a communication, everything, the president said we should come together. Let's talk about it. Because only the people.
Kev, no party that enjoys the support of key war criminals can convince me that they have the political will to fight and push for war crimes code. Period.
So I'm calling on the Unity Party. The Unity Party, let them speak. They're campaigning, right? Let them speak. They got Prince Johnson. Okay. Let them speak for war crime code. Because
guys, almost tore up like the guys gotta go.
Campaign about. So let them speak. I'm called I call on Joseph Buckeye. I challenge Joseph Buckeye. I challenge DeLon. I challenge Yomli Kanga. All the Unity Party people and the supporters. Let them, and I dare them, let us speak on War Crime Code.
So Keff Hassan, call anybody else but Liar DeLon.
We gotta go. We gotta go.
Call everybody else but Liar DeLon. Liar DeLon is not
Remember,
somebody.
Tomalin, you're looking fresh, though.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah, I know, right?
The guy.
Guys, thank you, man. Look, guys,
Tomalin, you still in Liberia?
Huh?
Is Tomalin still in Liberia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My man making Liberia look enviable. We gotta go there. We gotta mention it.
People get Prince Justin now. You get Prince Justin, guys.
Everybody was asking for this show came on today with us, man. I thank you.
Guys, we are back.
Guys. Thank you for holding the tough guys.
Bring that tie to Atlanta.
You guys have done us. You guys doing the people great. People appreciate you guys, and they look forward to seeing you guys on for the next 12 days and for the next 15 days until the 12 on the elections, guys. So please, guys, you got a time? Please come in. We'd love to have you guys. So we have more people coming on the show coming. Madam Gongreware, she'll be coming on the show. She's in Nima tonight. I talked to her. We have the Tila Ure going to come, and Isaac Jackson will be here, and you name it, they're going to come. The role will be here. We're going to come and
Mini Paka.
Thank you, comrades. Thank you.
Thank you. So y'all please come back, man. We want to see you guys. We hope we can have a show on Sunday.
This train,
at least Sunday we want to
come back. Man, and Hot FM, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So we'll let you know on Sunday. Maybe
show that we're running. This show that we're running, it's a good train that we're running. It's gonna go straight from today. It's firing. It's firing. Let them get ready.
Who on the train?
It's a good train.
My man, you still bringing debate.
I'm not talking about that old train that don't have wheels and don't know what, guys.
So what you? Oh man,
Sunday, guys. Let's do a show Sunday
night. Let me pass the Dick Calabash.
I know. Let me figure out what's going on.
I know that's
right. I
wish I was there right now, man. I would join you.
I will show you something, but I can't.
At the VIP section, we got.
I will show you something, but I can't.
Robert, who's your time? You guys come the hell out of your run, man. Look, it's great.
We shall join you soon.
I trust,
man. I know you guys will join.
You the one who helping out Papa to sleep in the country. Robert. If Papa get sleeping place, you gonna help me Papa to stay. Damn it, Robert, man. Why you say that a long time?
That's why every time they insult me, I just laugh. Every time they insult me.
So you help that Papa.
I help many people with accommodation.
Man, Keff Hassan, get out of here. Don't
I'm talking about VIP tour, VIP treatment. Yes, say my name.
Okay, all right, Rob. Now,
Robert, you're a good guy.
So you see, when everybody said Costa online, Robert, you're a living body.
Keff Hassan, get out of here. Let's start the show up, bro.
Costa went to you.
I'll see you guys, man. Guys, bye-bye.
Get up and bye. See everything.
Guys, have a good night, Keff. Everybody.
With orange money, I can send money to my buying ganta. With orange money, I can send money to my mind lofa. Just that star 144 hash. Follow the instruction and do what you want. Just that star 144 hash. Follow the instruction and do what you want. If you want pay for EDC or pay your school fee, brother, you can use orange money. If you want buy your credit or pay your taxes, sister, you can use orange money. Check that star 144 hash. Check that star.
Your family members abroad need to send you money? Worry no more. Henceforth, receive your international money transfers from Europe, USA, and South Africa made via Western Union, MoneyGram, and many more directly into your Orange Money account. At Orange Money, we are family.
Orange Money.
Your family members.
Let your celebration begin with Park Liquor Outlet, your first Liberian-owned liquor store in the city of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. We have everything that you need to set that special occasion or ride. For your next party or great get-together with friends, visit Park Liquor Outlet. We have great selection of beer, wine, gin, and many more at affordable prices. Our customer service will make you always want to come back. We are open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Park Liquor Outlet, your one-stop celebration store. We are located at 6315 Zine Avenue North, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Visit us today and feel the difference.
With Orange Money, I can send money to my buying ganta. With Orange Money, I can send money to my mind loafer. Just that star 144 hash. Follow the instruction and do what you want. Just that star 144 hash. Follow the instruction and do what you want. If you want pay for EDC or pay your school fee, brother, you can use Orange Money. If you want buy your credit or pay your taxes, sister, you can use Orange Money. Oh. Just that star 144 hash. 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 Tell me who I put for. Where my Orange Money, yo. I can pay my LEC bills. You see Orange Money, yo. Tell me who I put for. Where my Orange Money, yo. I can pay my